And now, our feature presentation. Hey guys, I'm Scarfy.
I'm Naka.
And I am Krüz.
And welcome to Subwuffer Entertainment, our Season 7 premiere. We are a determinedly drunk, geeky, and showful podcast where wolves be house and tree we entertain, bringing you all latest entertainment news. Says a lot like a music appreciation class to talk about what's going on in certain topics and see how people react to them in certain ways. And that elevator music that we were listening to was Bowser's Kingdom. We do have a little bit of news that we want to share. It is good to be back. It has been a while since we have been here. We had a lot of things go on these past couple weeks, right, Naka?
Yeah,
we had the Super Bowl, and then we had the Oscars,
and then the Daytona 500, which was just delayed to Monday.
Yeah,
and then Ryan Newman almost fucking died.
Yeah,
but for now, not even 48 hours after that wreck, he walked out of the hospital under his own power. But released today, this morning, he did say that he does have some sort of head injury. And that's really all we know about that situation.
Let's just hope that he didn't suffer a concussion. That's all we can really say.
He probably did.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I saw the crash and it looked pretty bad.
There are things that I know that I am not allowed to say in public. I'm just putting that out there. There are things that I know about that crash that I am not allowed to talk about because it can get people fired, and I don't want to do that.
Well, I understand.
And the
what you're
Rolex
saying.
24, but that was before. That was like the last weekend of January.
Of course. Anyway, we do want to talk about. We do have some things that we want to share for you that are going to be happening these next couple episodes. First off, we are going to be dropping the feature presentation from now on because unfortunately YouTube is getting a little too power hungry with the copyright system, and by that I mean it's really shitty. It's getting really bad.
It's garbo.
Yeah, when you're accused of fucking up, you double down because that's what you do.
Yeah, and the next thing, and in case you guys haven't noticed, we've had a couple episodes where I noticed that episodes were blocked in other countries and were not being able to use because apparently they were cool with us using the music before, but apparently not now. It's weird. And I had to literally ask, Naka, hey, can we please, can you please edit this out so that our episode can be back up again? It's a little
do that with the AC/DC one, and also that.
No, it's happened in others. It's happened on others, right?
And it like when they changed their standards of like it was okay before, but now it's not. That's horseshit.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it or not?
So we do have a lot that we're going to discuss about, but first thing that we're going to bring up is Subwuffer Entertainment has been brought to you by Streamlabs. We are a nonprofit podcast, but we use this as our go-to for purchasing equipment or other visual means. Please do not feel obligated. We are not asking for money to pay the rent, but if you have the heart to donate, it is greatly appreciated. So how are you guys doing? We had a lot happen. We had the Super Bowl. We had the Oscars show, which I'll get into a lot later during my segment. And then we had the Daytona 500, which I know Naka wants to talk about.
I'm not going to talk about it too much because I've gotten pretty much everything I wanted to say about it and, other stuff. I've already said that on other platforms, and I kind of don't want to talk about it more.
Well, I'm asking what has happened in general.
What has happened just this past week, my parents went to Mexico. They left last Friday, so I had to house sit for a week and dog sit. And then Thursday, my sister left for Pittsburgh, and she's not coming back till Tuesday. So Thursday and Friday, I had to, kind of balance my time between two places and pet sit for two pets. But yeah, my parents are back. They arrived late Friday night. It was like 12:30 Saturday morning when they walked in the door. But I was at my sister's place, and
I'm just glad we're back, really.
Yeah,
because we were supposed to be back like 3 weeks earlier, but we had all that happen and it just wasn't going to happen. So
yeah, and I had a funeral to go to.
Yeah, we had a lot go on these past couple weeks. Anyway, Krüz, how is everything going with you?
Well, there was good stuff going on and not so good stuff, but mostly the good stuff is the good stuff, and I'm doing, I guess, fairly well. In college now, which everyone's gonna wonder about. I'm supposed to graduate this year. Apparently, someone told me I'm one credit short, and I'm like, "Bitch, excuse me, what?" So that's something I gotta get figured out. But other than that, everything is great.
See,
Really excited about the music, and
yes.
I think that we, like us, moved to Twitch. I don't know. Well, there were a lot of ideas thrown around when Set was in its infancy of like where to stream from, and I think Twitch was one of the options explored, but it didn't end up going there for a reason.
Yeah, we went to YouTube because it's a more mainstream, not just for gamers. Even though
Twitch has
know
evolved over the years.
right, and yeah, like I
Also,
believe it or
there's no video component really. Well, there are visuals, but it's not like people aren't going to go to Twitch for a slideshow, basically.
Twitch has evolved, and let me tell you, there are some Twitch shows where I do see friends of mine actually tune in to watch the Democratic political debate. However, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm once again asking
debates on Twitch
you to
now.
subscribe.
Wait, what?
I forget that there's political debates on Twitch now. They're showing NFL games, the ones that are like Thursday Night Football that are, streamed on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Twitch's copyright
it's interesting.
is more lenient. I will give it that. Can't play Rob Zombie though, but whatever. But we have a big show.
Yes, we do. So,
Through the dishes.
Naka's in the doghouse. Well,
I'm in the cat house because my sister has a cat, and I had to take him to the vet yesterday because he had a checkup because his anal glands aren't doing so hot. And I'm not going to make any brown jokes, even though I, just use the term brown joke.
Not in time for World War Brown.
Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start. Yeah, we're gonna start the show with Krüz with music. Krüz, go. It's your time.
Yeah, I did want to put up some things that were that had happened. So right before some of them earlier, but some of them right before we did the show. So they're all on one screen for you, a la Feel Good Inc. style. The first thing was a premiere that happened involving my favorite band, Sabaton. They did a re-recording of Angels Calling with Apocalyptica, who has been doing a lot recently.
Cello metal.
Yeah, it was called A Great Surprise before, as they do with premieres before they actually show what's happening. A la Great Surprise, a la the Great War theme. Did not really disappoint. Originally, the song was from Ataro Dominatus, and so now the violin part that was in it has been played instead by Apocalyptica, and also there's cello solos throughout. Aside, along with the main solo, and even before partnering with Sabaton here, they did a cover of Fields of Verdun, which they released before the actual song, which is probably one of the ultimate power moves. Like, Sabaton is the band that can have a cover release before their actual song because they can. And I'll say the marketing for the Great War was excellent because there's so many. They incorporated teasers into the Sabaton History channel, which I would like every one of you to subscribe to, as well as ours. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And they did. Well, first of all, telling you the story of the songs, along with giving you snippets. But yeah, I think that they did a good job here. Sabaton was also joined by Apocalyptica on their European tour, which has since concluded. A lot of their tour blogs and videos and stuff are on YouTube if you want to see them with Apocalyptica in action.
This was probably the song that I love listen to the most out of all of them, if only because I just love the symphonic kind of metalish type thing. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, the original one had if you go back listen to the original, the violin is there, but it doesn't sound like it's as present. It's not as much in your face as it is here. And I think that well, also the visuals in this music video were well done, and I think that it was a good way to also announce that Apocalyptica was joining Sabaton live, and Apocalyptica has also been doing more stuff with the thing to the right of Sabaton, and that is with their fellow Finns, Lost Society. They collaborated with the band on their ballad, and yes, I said ballad, Into Eternity. So Lost Society, a far cry from the pure groove thrash, basically the municipal waste for Finland. The band has been nailing so far their pseudo metalcore style, which I guess can best be described as a delectable blend of Trivium, In Flames, and Slipknot. So I linked Blood on Your Hands because it was released, and it's also my favorite song, and it's basically straight up just Slipknot kind of sound, tempo, everything. I think that as much as it's you don't get to enjoy the raw thrash anymore, I think that they're doing really well, like embracing a new style, but also not doing it in such a way that it's like everyone's like, what the fuck? They were kind of eased into it because there were some hints of divergence with their last album, Brain Dead. Not metalcore stuff, but more like different kinds of thrash songs. But overall, I think they did a really good job there. And Sepultura. Whew, this ain't your granddaddy Sepultura, let me tell you what. Yeah, completely now devoid of original founding members. Nevertheless, they persisted long after the departure of the Cavalera brothers, Max and his brother Igor, though apparently the bassist Paulo Jr. has appeared on every release, though technically not being a founding member. Derek Green keeps up with deranged, menacing vocals, while the cast around him, notably guitarist Andreas Kisser, really do excellent jobs, and the drums too are absolutely insane. The description of the title Quadra is a callback to the band's early styles, from more original thrash sound to their kind of tribal sound and onward. The result is very well-rounded thrash album with some insane drumming. The first song that was released, Isolation, which is linked there. It's just textbook thrash. I don't know what else to say. It's really good stuff. And also in that song, the tempo changes on every chorus, which I think is really cool. One last one for this little thing. Titans of Creation. Now that is a good way to say good morning. Well, good night. I woke up and saw this in my subscription feed. Had one of those, oh, fuck to the hell, yes. If you get the reference, I love you. The song is a 6-minute barrage of classic Testament heaviness with good, spooky, groovy riffs. And the post-solo breakdown, of course, did a killer thing. And it's been a bit of a wait since Brotherhood of the Snake came out in 2016. I think Titans of Creation so far looking to be an equally top-tier album, even though we only have one song so far, but it is coming out in I believe early April, and they're going to be on a tour also, the US.
Are you okay there? You sound like you're gonna die.
I need a sip of beer. Okay. So we have
Das Bier's and Farten.
Das Biergarten.
Anyway.
A lot of thrash metal happening, but there's other stuff happening too.
Yes.
The main thing, and I can't not make the joke because it's kind of just there. It's free roasting. Unfortunately, those interested in getting this album, the album is not free real estate, but I suppose you could listen for free on YouTube. If you saw a little tweet that was posted before this, it was a snippet from the video for this song, Paper Cup.
Yes.
Possibly FNAF inspired, sort of ish. Uh, I suppose it appropriately juxtaposes the mellow rock sound that's involved there.
Whoa, Seawolf. Oh my god.
He nuked it on the stream.
Max Knight!
Anyway. No.
Continue.
Yeah, a good thing we technically can't get demonetized. 'Cause we weren't monetized first place. Jokes on you, YouTube. Well, good thing I have this paper cup here.
Wow, funny joke.
Funny joke. Yep. New Jersey Rock album is going to come out on February 28th. And that is the date that will be the release date for all of the things, including no terlits here. It's just music. It's James Taylor. American Standard. Again, not the toilet. There's no toilets. Just want to be clear. And this seems to be a trend among older solo artists, that his latest addition to his discography is going to be a cover album of classic songs, to which James Taylor gives his personal touch. And the songs that are available now are the one that is linked, and that is Teach Me Tonight. Then there is As Easy as Rolling Off a Log, and God Bless the Child.
Excuse me?
God bless the child. I would like to see the baby. I didn't make up the title.
I know.
Or the fucking American Standard. I'm like,
American Standard?
Yeah,
Like,
those are toilets.
yeah.
I mean, I get it, but like, damn, James Taylor. I mean, I'm surprised he's still around. Still making music because he looks pretty good for his age. I must add.
I mean, Ozzy still wants to make music, but fuck medical issues.
Yeah.
I feel so bad that he had to cancel no more tours too.
I know, right? Anyway.
Yeah, I haven't like posted anything about like that album. I mean, the problem from what I've heard is like the production sounds really clunky and bulky, but Straight to Hell does sound like a good song. I mean, I don't know about the other stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like it's just a thing. And again, what's better is that hopefully he just ends up being okay. The last one is one I'm personally more excited about, and that is Upon Fate. So even with the departure of Jeremy Spencer due to having, I believe he had a back surgery and he was not able to perform as well as he used to, they did get someone good to replace him, and again, the stint in rehab for Ivan Moody, which has since come out of, and the last time I saw them in concert, he just spoke about it briefly. And
sorry for the interruption. James Hetfield recently got out of rehab too.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
and
he did. Wow.
Public. I think he was doing a guitar auction.
How is he doing?
Doing great.
From what I heard, he seems to be doing well. I don't know exactly what Metallica's doing right now, but yes, speaking of rehab, James Hetfield has come back, and hopefully that is the last time, and hopefully we don't get a Saint Anger too. But
what? He just wanted to become the table again.
I am the table.
Table.
Actually, that's a different table. There's more than one table meme in this
different
world.
Music joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I am the view.
Anyway,
I am the table. That you can set your feet on. I short circuited. Sit your feet on when you're able. cannot. My God. And yeah, about people who want to complain that Five Finger Death, but all their songs will sound the same. Okay, YouTube comments section, calm the fuck down. First of all, there's something called a formula that they have, which, yes, can lend itself to having similar or even same sounding songs or song structures. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And compared to And Justice for None, this already sounds like a better album. And another thing gave me hope was that Zoltan was at one point said that a lot of the riffs, some of the riffs were a callback to War is the Answer / American Capitalist era. And so far, we do have 3 songs: Inside Out, Full Circle, and the superhero reference filled Living the Dream, which is linked, and the rest will arrive on February 28th. And I have to say, it does sound good. It sounds better. Sounds like for them the best since since Wrong Side of Heaven, Righteous Side of Hell, I think. And that's saying something, because I think that Got Your Six was okay, but just kind of like not anything that was like, really. I mean, it was good, but it's not like okay. That again, that's kind of like where like, oh, sound kind of the same. It's like that one didn't sound very samey, but it didn't have a lot of stuff that made it stand out. And Justice for All is just, or None rather, wrong mix. Had, well, I guess you could tell that really the drums were taking a back seat to everything, and it was just not many fast songs. And this one is a little more like, all right, they're back into their flow, really. So yeah.
Don't fuck with the drummer. Neil Peart would have had strong words for you.
I totally agree with you.
Jeremy Spencer. Well, he admitted that he was not able to perform as well, and like this was after that was recorded. So I mean, oh yeah, and also something I didn't mention. Yeah, Chris Adler is retired basically after his motorcycle accident. Lamb of God since put out another song, which is basically just ripping on the Make America Great Again kind of thing, and it's like yeah, talk to the hands, same old shit. But yeah, their album is a self-titled album, Lamb of God, and we'll see what happens with that later if any of the other songs are better, because the song that's there, Checkmate, sounds okay, but it's like just okay. It's like I can recognize it as Lamb of God, but it's not like, yeah, you just wrote this as like a filler song to be like, oh, we can say this, be like, fuck Trump and all that stuff. It's like, all right, cool. But now that
reminds me of something I'm going to talk about real quick, but go on, finish up.
Yeah, but now we have that. We'll talk about more of that later when that album comes closer to release date. But for now, the nearest things are Real Estate, James Taylor, and Five Finger Death Punch. I'm excited for those.
So I did really like the Five Finger Death Punch song, but I also really love the Real Estate song, just how it's just this mechanical squirrel. I literally tweeted that out. It didn't take me long to actually make a video, to actually edit the video and tweet it out using Windows Movie Maker. Yeah, I know I'm old school, but get over it.
Hey, if it works, don't.
Man, I'm on MS Paint in this motherfucker.
I mean, it works. It does, but But anyway, yeah, that's really all I have to say for music. Glad to hear that James Hetfield is back. Glad to hear that Five Finger Death Punch is still kicking and making more music. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. I really enjoyed the music that stuck out to me was Sabaton, Real Estate, and Five Finger Death Punch, which I really enjoyed.
Anything that involves Apocalyptica is just that's going on the top of the chart for the week. And it's not to diss any other artists or bands or anything. It's just because I love Apocalyptica.
Yeah. So yeah, there's 2 of those things then. That would be Sabaton and then Into Eternity from Lost Society. It's off. It's also available as a single if you just want to get that song.
Right. So is that it for music, Krüz?
Yes, that is.
Yeah, yes, that is. That is it for music this week. But there was a race today, but I want to talk about last week's Daytona 500. Last Sunday,
Okay.
when the race was supposed to happen, the president showed up. And unfortunately, that upset a lot of people because, like, oh man, oh, why is the president here? Oh, I don't like Republican presidents.
And this was on Sunday, right?
This
Where
was
it
on-
was canceled.
This is when it eventually got delayed until Monday. But
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of the president.
I'm not either, but
Spoiler alert! I don't think a lot of
he
sane
showed
people
up
are.
to college
Continue.
championship. I think one year it was the perfect alignment of like boos and cheers because it was in like Atlanta.
I
It's
didn't
just-
hear a whole lot of booing in the stands, even though I wasn't there. I just heard it on TV. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you fall on. You could be some crazy Democrat, or like, you could just be like that little tiny little bit of Republican, but still be a moderate. I don't care where you fall on the spectrum.
a rhino. If
But-
we have rhinos, does that mean we also have dinos?
Probably, but I don't care where you fall on the spectrum. If the president shows up to your sport's biggest sporting event, that should just be good. And it brought in a lot of views and ratings because people want to see the president at the Daytona 500.
Even if they're just looking to catch a gaff or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little more of a PR kind of like stunt if you're.
It is definitely a PR stunt, and it's
I think it's more so if it's like you're being invited to the White House and they're like, because then you have to be this, you get to do the stance like, yeah, I'm not going to the White House.
Maybe
look
talk-
at me, I'm virtuous. So like,
Yeah.
but if he shows up there, it's like there's not much you can do about it.
Sorry, we just got super political,
you could
but
boycott the race, but that hurts you a little more.
Hey, we don't get political for a reason, but
yeah.
continue.
Sorry, we just kind of got super political, but we had Air Force One flying behind the track because there's an airport really close to the speedway. He did the start, the command to start engines. He had a radio channel for all the drivers saying, "Good luck out there, be safe. You're the best drivers in the world." And he did do a lap or two of the track in the presidential limo. While you could say, yes, it is on our taxpayer dollars. On the other hand, the president showed up to the Daytona 500. Okay, we're done with that. Then it was postponed to Monday because, it's Florida. It just decided to rain 4,000 inches, so we had to move to Monday. And it was a great race Monday, except for the finish where Ryan Newman was nearly killed. He was sent to Halifax Hospital, where thankfully 2 hours after the race we were told he is going to survive. It's non-life-threatening injuries. And then not even 2 whole days after the incident occurred, he walks out of Halifax Medical Center under his own power with his 2 girls in hand.
I mean, I saw a video of the crash too, and the fact that he just is able to. I mean, I know that a lot of the stuff in the car probably protected him from like the worst of the hits, but he got hit.
Almost everything.
Spun out as he was spinning out. Someone hit him into the air. He flipped over and landed like upside down or something.
Almost every safety thing broke in the car except for something called the Newman bar, which was put in place after a flip at Talladega that he had in 2009. So literally, he saved himself.
The thing that saved him saved his own life.
Today, before the Pennzoil 400, which ended just about an hour, a little bit over an hour ago, hour 15 ago, we got word that he has suffered a head injury of some sort, but we don't know what it is. And he did say that there was no internal bleeding and no broken bones. So he probably did get a pretty big concussion, but...
I mean, that would be like the neck guard protecting Clint Malarchuk again. Like, that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like irony or if it's funny, but it's like the thing that was instituted because of him, like, saved his life. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know if it's irony or what, but it is a thing for sure.
And Ross Chastain, at least in today's race, was the interim driver for Ryan Newman. Again, we don't know a timetable of when he's going to return or anything, but it's good to see that he's alive and doing really well. He's one of the toughest race car drivers I've ever known. And, this is the first race
His first crash, and he's just walked out again.
Yeah. Well, this is the first race since I think 2002 or 2003 that Ryan Newman has not been a part of. Like
Well,
me
that's
and a
good.
ton of other NASCAR fans around my age have grown up with Ryan Newman in every single race. So it's a bit weird,
Yeah.
but we're just glad to see him healthy. And they did people blaming LaJoy and people blaming Ryan Blaney. Everybody that's blaming the drivers, they can all go fuck themselves.
I mean, here's the thing, because if you look at it, you don't really have a lot of ability to swerve around, because if you do swerve, you're either going to go into the wall or into the pit, and basically the car just lands right in front of the car, and he's like,
Yeah.
really
Well,
nothing you can do.
LaJoy was already committed to a line. There was nothing he could have done. He was traveling at over 190 miles an hour to the finish of the end of the Daytona 500, and people are blaming Ryan Blaney because he
NASCAR,
turned him
not
on the
the
final
country.
lap. What are you supposed to do? Just back off the throttle and let somebody go on the last lap of the Daytona 500? No. It was just a racing deal, and unfortunately, it was just a shit situation at the end of the day. People blaming drivers literally can go fuck themselves. I'm done. Because we have today's race to talk about briefly. It was good. It was clean. There wasn't a whole lot of wreck fest going on. And they did make the right call in the final lap of the race to throw a caution. And as much as I don't like Joey Logano, he's a smug douche behind the wheel. He drove a clean race. And ultimately, he was in the right position at the right time, and he got the win. Matt DiBenedetto with P2 on the board for the Wood Brothers, which means he's going to get a win this year. Bubba Wallace had P6, and Ty Dillon had P10. Jimmy Johnson was P5. It was a pretty good race today, and I'm just glad they made the right call on the final lap to throw a caution after like 3-4 cars got collected, and they threw a caution on the final lap, and, you know, as much as I wanted to see it finish under green, I feel they made the right call, because I do not want another repeat of Ryan Newman.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't know Sheamus was in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, Sheamus was Sheamus,
The WWE superstar.
wrestler. He wasn't in the Daytona 500. He was like the pace car driver, I think, for like the inaugural pace car driver.
Yeah.
And he was doing PR and everything like that. But now we move on because we have video games to talk about. Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of them.
Mega Man!
It's okay. Next week, it'll be a lot more brief because I don't have 2 races to talk about. I'll only have to talk about 1. But
Took a dump in the toilet. Took a dump in the toilet. It sounds bad.
yes, for now, we have Mega Man 0/ZX Legacy Collection. This is the collection of these games to own, unless you're a purist. Because, hey, I don't judge purists, but you play the games how you want to.
Fuck emulators.
If you own a copy of the game and like you don't want to risk playing it, like damaging your hardware or anything like that, emulators are fine. Or if you're doing randomizers.
I mean,
and
someone
shit.
who says it. I didn't say I said it. I'm
But
indifferent.
you not only get the 4 Mega Man Zero games, you also get Mega Man ZX and ZX Advent, all in the same collection. Again, unless you're a purist, this will probably be the definitive way to play these games. Not only is there a casual scenario mode for, like, you know, hey, do this objective or whatever. It's like, oh, do this, but you're this character or something like that. The save assist feature is also available. You know, save states, which is perfectly fine. Fuck Mike Matei for his bullshit opinions, by the way. For players who want to enjoy the game at their own pace. If you want to pick it up...
Wait, did you just say Mike Matei?
Yeah, he had a really, really, really hot, spicy video game take a couple months ago, and he got shit on hard for it.
Wait, pardon my French. Motherfucker Mike.
Yes, motherfucker Clarence Mike.
Damn.
I will talk... That's another story for another day.
Is it like a ninja level hot take?
Yes, actually.
I love that became such a meme instantly. Just full stop. If you don't get mad, you've lost twice.
Yes, actually. But we have other things to talk
Says the
about.
most.
If you want to pick it up,
Yes,
it's
we
coming
do.
up for Windows, PS4, the Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One, releasing on the 25th on Tuesday, which is probably when this
Hooray.
episode's going to come out.
On VOD.
Anyway.
You guys have anything to talk about this, or
I mean,
any connection
I-
to Mega Man?
I never played a single Mega Man game. I heard it's a great platformer. I mean, I've watched some of the reviews that Some Call Me Johnny did, and he reviewed Mega Man, the original classic series and the X series. I don't know if he'll ever do Mega Man Zero. I am hoping he'll do that one day, but there's not much I have to say regarding it. I heard it's great. Not particularly my favorite thing in the world, but one of these days someone will get me into Mega Man and I will be a Mega Man enthusiast. And that's really all I have to say regarding it. Krüz?
Again, yeah, it struck me. I mean, it. And I was going to say this anyway, but you mentioned platformer. I realized that a lot of the other Mega Mans, I guess almost all of them are platformers, but the one I've really only played was Star Force, and that was more of an RPG than a platformer, or like an RPG-ish game. But yeah, that's the Mega Man that I know mostly, other than the original. Like I know the character, I don't know much about other than just watching some of the gameplay from Mega Man. I think 11. It was the one that came out recently. But yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly in a monetary position just to get games willy nilly, but this is one I'll probably I could look into getting at some point, just to play more Mega Man. I mean, my focus mainly is on Doom Eternal because I've saw some
Don't you
things that
mean Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Doom Crossing Eternal Animals.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about those games when they come out for a release.
Next week.
I've just seen some early.
We're talking about them next week. Okay.
Yes, we are. We are talking about them next week. Anyway, that's all I have to say regarding Mega Man.
Markiplier, but yeah, about this game. On my radar, look into it, but I don't. I've got a budget right now.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, hospitals. Yeah, let's make them funny. 2-point hospital.
Wallace and Gromit looking motherfuckers.
Excuse me. They have feelings too, you know. Jesus.
Claymen are people too.
2-Point Hospital is a business and hospital tycoon game where you're essentially a business conglomerate charged with constructing and operating a massive empire of hospitals in fictional 2-Point County, curing patients of wacky comical illnesses. Because hospitals are, let's be honest, pretty shitty to visit. 2-Point Studios emphasizes humor to lighten the mood, which it's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you played Theme Hospital back in the late 90s, some of the same developers that worked on 2-Point Hospital, so it's in good hands. This has released on Steam, and I believe Mac. Well, I'm not sure what platforms on Steam other than Steam. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it was Windows, Linux, and Mac, or if it's just Windows. But this is the console release coming out on also Tuesday the 25th for Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PS4.
Now, I do want to talk about it's almost interesting that we have a thing called 2-Point Hospital because it almost reminds me of what was that game where you basically are like a warden for like prisoners or something like that? I completely forgot.
No, that wasn't. That was the other.
It's a different game. It's like where this person. It's basically the tycoon for prison. It's interesting. I forgot what it was, but hey, 2-Point Hospital.
That is what Sepultura's Isolation is about. It is about mass incarceration. It's
Okay, well, 2-Point Hospital looks like an interesting game. I don't know if I'll get it right away. There are other games that I want to play, and I also have a little bit of a strict budget right now, so we'll see what happens. But hey, it's there. You know, if you guys want to play it, Krüz, anything you want to say regarding it?
I feel like I've seen. I don't know if it was this game or if it was. I think it was this game. I think it was Funhouse played it, but yeah, I do see that it's just kind of like a goofy. You know, the Tycoon games seem to be of a lost era almost because you had Zoo Tycoon, the Water Park Tycoon, Dinosaur Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon, all of that. Those are all computer games, but yeah. And I guess now that it's coming to consoles, it's going to be more widely available. So if you do want to get back into that and want to see what this is about, you're more than welcome to. I don't think I will because I feel like there are certain games that I would get more enjoyment out of watching people play than play myself. because of what their missions are to do. I mean, I granted there are some where I do both because Game Grumps played Rocket League today, and then I played Rocket League today, and I enjoyed doing both.
Hey, I'm Dan. I'm also Dan. Dan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, Seawolf. So it apparently went to 192, and now it's 190. So it's like it went up down. Someone unsubscribed, and you're subscribed. You stinky, and we're gonna get you.
Anyways, is that all we have to say about 2 Point Hospital? Because I will say, it looks fun to play. I'm never going to play it in my life because I have Roller Coaster Tycoon to play.
Oh yeah, got to kill a bunch of people by shooting them into the sun.
I like just building roller coasters that are fun that also kill people and break the laws of physics. Anyway, we're going to move on to some more waifu bait. Hero Must Die again. It's a really, really weird title. I don't know why this title is the way it is. Because it's like, it's a phrase, and then again. I don't know why.
The period makes it sound like it's more depressed than it should be. Like, again, ugh.
So, Hmda, as I will call it, just Hmda. It is an RPG where the main character fucking died after defeating the demon Guile, or Gile, and has 5 days to get his affairs in order for the best possible funeral. You guide him through this anti-RPG where you grow weaker as time passes, and somehow there's 50 endings.
How do you 50 endings at 5 days?
It all depends on the shit that you do in those 5 days. There's 8 heroines to waifu bait, because of course there is. Why wouldn't they? And you literally fucking die 50 times, depending on the things that you do.
Yes.
If you do want it because it's already been out in Japan and it came out for the Vita, if you do want it because you either don't live in Japan or you don't own a Vita, because I only know of about 6 people that own a PlayStation Vita, ever. It is coming out for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch on the 26th of February. Wow, it's coming out on Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
So, there's something about this game that's turning you off when you're calling it waifu bait, apparently.
I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of games where it's like the main cover, it's anime waifus. And because I'm a pleb, I don't have an anime waifu, and I'm not judging you if you do have an anime waifu or you do play these types of games, because you're your own person. I don't give a fuck what you do. As long as you're not hurting people or doing illegal things, I don't care. But it's just not for me, and that's why I call it waifu bait, because look at this cover. Look at this cover.
It's what we call in the business gratuitous.
Yes, it is gratuitous waifu bait.
Fan service. I mean,
the gameplay, I'll be honest, in anti-RPG where you grow weaker over time because you're literally dying and there's nothing you can do to stop that, it's very interesting. I'll give it that.
It's either kind of sounding like a combination of, what is it, Ocarina of Time and Pantsu Hunter? Got Pantsu Hunter, one of the funniest Game Grumps things, seriously. It Silence of Linglers. But yeah, it's like you get all the endings to like romance different girls, but then also, you have to work with time and I guess do other things while you're at it.
Right. I mean, I do like the premise of it. It's just I am surprised you do say it's waifu bait a little bit.
Because that's what it is.
But is this a sequel if it says die again, or is just again? Is it like
I don't know.
Sekiro, like Shadows Die Twice?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, can we move on to another game that's long in its title?
Yes.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms XIV 14.
Yes.
So this is interesting. 14 games in 14 main installments into this series. It's your typical turn-based tactical JRPG based off of a 14th century historical novel of the same name by Luo Guanzhou. Guanzhong. I
Yeah.
completely butchered that pronunciation, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Which is set in the turbulent years towards the end of the Han Dynasty and the Three Kingdoms period of China. Don't know what the Three Kingdoms period is? Go watch Oversimplified's video about it.
Hey, I know that channel.
This series is 35 years old. I mean, hell, if your game series is 35 years old, it's got to have some success, and the games have to be good. And, you know, they are, and the music is great. With 14 main series titles and a lot of spin-off titles. While it was originally released on January 16th for PlayStation 4 and PC in Japan and Taiwan, and I have a little side note, of all countries, which, by the way, Taiwan should be its own country, just an FYI.
Yes, it should.
Taiwan, of all places? Who's getting on their Switch, by the way? I heard that.
I'm stocked.
Mine's stocked.
Yeah, well, somebody just loaded theirs up. Though you could buy the PC version. You could buy the Steam version early, but you wouldn't have the official Western English translation. But that Western localization is coming out on the 28th of February for PlayStation 4 and PC.
Music sounds great. I really do like the music in here. Yeah, it's a very interesting, beautiful. I like the graphics of it. It's very pretty.
I mean, you've had 35 years to work on graphics. You'd expect them to be pretty.
Yeah, they're very pretty here. So hey, I am just kind of glad that we are getting a game that is well worth the time. Anyway, that's all I have to say regarding Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. Krüz.
Yeah, I was saying, I think that for what we saw in the trailer, was that, I mean, I don't know if it said it, but it seems like it was more cinematic rather than gameplay. But even so, it did look very fluid. There's a lot of details. The weapons look very cool, and I think it really kind of drew some inspiration from the Melee opening, Smash Brothers Melee opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like just like the way the music flowed with what actions were being done.
Everyone knows that the Melee opening is better than any other Smash opening.
I know.
Right now. It's kind of sad. It's
Easily.
Yeah.
Versus da 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 da.
Anyway.
Yeah. Now it's time about.
All right. When we have both Five Finger Death Punch and One Punch Man in one episode, you know it's going to be wacky. What are you talking about? People know Saitama. He's the One Punch Man. I don't even watch anime and I know who Saitama is.
Yeah, I've only watched the first season because apparently I can't find the second season, but I loved it. It's just such a great, it's great. It's my one of my second favorites to Agretsuko and what was it? Assassination Classroom.
Anyway, this is a 3D arena fighting game using teams of 3 characters from the universe of One Punch Man. The unique hero arrival mechanic is based on Saitama, something new. And Saitama is invincible to every single person except for himself, and he'll take you out in one hit because he's the One Punch Man. So watch out. He can't be used early in the fight because he's always late to the fights. So oops, you got to survive with a 2-character team and then try to fight and try to use specific moves to reduce the timer until Saitama arrives. If 2 Saitamas fight, they can deal damage to each other but not flinch. And if one is defeated, he runs off to do some other shit instead of die. There is also a dream version of him that's a normal character who's dressed in pajamas. So, yes, you can play as Saitama and also die, but it's the dream version, so it doesn't really matter.
That's like the very first episode when he's like that.
Yeah, if you're interested in One Punch Man, it's releasing just a day later than Japan, which that's releasing on the 27th of February. This comes out on the 28th of February for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC.
No. I wish I did watch the anime or read the manga, because I heard it has a really niche fan base, all things considered.
I know that the first, by the way, our Netflix account was reinstated, so yay. But yeah, the first season is on Netflix. I don't know where the second one is. But I found it funny that they're kind of trying to include like when you go from a show to a game, you have to like sometimes try to include a mechanic of like why a character isn't there. Like because Saitama usually is late. But like to have it be like, okay, you have to buy time until he gets here. I felt like, yeah, that's
that's
kind
a
of
really
like it's a way to do it. Not say it's like especially good or bad, but it's like kind of like expected. But it makes it less just like a, you know, a, I guess Marvel, Capcom, or whatever, like just two-side fighting game, like pseudo 3D fighting game. Um, I might. Well, I also not only just play this, but I also want to see the second season. So yeah, yeah. The pajama one is like from the first episode where like his apartment gets attacked and he's still in his pajamas and he still has to fight the whatever monster attacked him. Yeah. That's all.
All right, is that all we have to say? These are... Because if so, that'll be it for our main announcements. Some miniature announcements we have. There are 3 of them. First, we have Metro Last Light Redux coming out for the Switch on the 28th of February. This is Metro Last Light Redux, which is the upscaled version because it was made for the 360 and PS3, then re-released with upscaled textures and all that shit, plus all the DLC for the game on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now the Switch version's coming out. There we go.
Yep, getting all that in a nice, neat little package. I haven't played the Metro. Is like one of those games that, or any of the Metro games that are games I would like, but I've never gotten into yet. So, I mean, this might be the time to do it. Yeah.
Next, we have Samurai Showdown, which was originally a 2019 fighting SNK fighting game released on, I think, the Switch, and I don't know. It came out for the Stadia. So that tells you how well this game's been known in the West. But this is
but it did specifically say in the trailer, in the video, it's like the Switch provides the ultimate gaming experience. It's a very Japanese way of announcing it. That's a crush your friends in tabletop mode. It's like the Switch provides the ultimate gaming, like fighting game experience.
But this is the Switch version of Samurai Showdown that's releasing on February 25th. And last but not least, we have another port, this time being a 3DS port of Waifu Bait of Rune Factory 4 Special.
No more white.
Oh, really?
Follow the route of an Antonio Brown. No more white women 2020. No more waifu 2020.
Antonio Brown, I'm sorry, he has not been the same since that Vontez perfect hit, and it's really shown, and it's sad. He needs help.
He does. He absolutely does. But the funny irony is that Vontez was the one holding him back when he got angry at the Raiders coach.
Mm-hmm.
Life does that.
Yeah. Rune Factory 4 Special. It is a Switch port with enhancements over the 3DS version that's releasing in North America on February 25th. And for those of our Europeans out there, that's releasing February 28th for the Switch.
Wonderful.
3 days!
Now, Scarfy, take it away with movies. I have seen 2 of these, but take it away with movies. I have to go use the restroom real quick, so I will not copy and paste these ones. I will copy and paste the main announcement, however. So
I'll just go ahead and wait for you install. It's okay.
Because you don't want to do work that you should be doing.
No, I want to wait until you get back. Come on.
So I can do the work that you should be doing. Okay.
No.
I see how this is working.
That's
while
not
we're
how
on
it
intermission,
works.
That is how that works, by the way.
Like and subscribe.
Seriously, go take a whiz. Do woo 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 woo. All right.
Hey, while we're on intermission, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.
I didn't know you were a fan of the Monty Python.
I mean, I think I've only seen the Grail and something completely different and a little bit of Life of Brian. Yeah. But yeah, I've seen some other random skits, but I'm gonna go back to Netflix and watch them at some full things at some point because, you know, that's kind of a thing that's like British people hate it if you mention it to them. They're like, yes, we fucking know. But to Americans, it's like the most funny shit.
Guys, seriously, I want my own homemade. When I have my house, I want my own private movie theater that I can watch people's reactions, because I get so much joy out of watching other people's emotions and their facial expressions, even though I know it sounds really creepy, but you know. I'm just one of those people that like that, you know. Anyway, is Naka back, or is he still?
Oh, you said
Yeah, I'm back. I'm just.
Oh, you're back.
Hold on. I'm gonna post these in blocks. So
No, you don't have to. You don't have to post You don't have to post these films. I'm just.
down to Nemo.
you
Yeah.
could have just named them off.
Yeah, but I was just waiting for you because I want to hear what your opinions were. That's all. All right.
I've only seen 2 of these, and you know exactly which 2 I've seen.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about the films that I saw over the summer, and these are in no particular order. These are just winter. Sorry, winter. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I guess I ate something that caused me to forget something. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on.
Miss, I can't remember what I've forgotten.
Some of the Harry Potter. Some of the. All right. So here are some of the films that I saw over the winter. I'm gonna go ahead and start naming them off. Doctor Sleep. If you're a fan of the Stanley Kubrick film, this film really shines. I really did enjoy it. It just had a lot to offer.
Get it? It shines because it's a remake of The Shining.
Very funny.
Hey, you
Anyway,
said it,
we're
not
gonna
me.
Hey, that's fine. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Naka's Jizz Fest with Ford versus Ferrari.
Hey, calm down.
Sorry.
Kids game.
This is a group Jizz Fest, mind you.
No, but really, you were surprised to
fact
see
that this
Ford versus
got-
Ferrari.
I knew it was going to be really good going in. I had no idea that it was going to be nominated for Best Fucking Picture at the Oscars. It probably shouldn't. I'll be honest, the list of Oscar-worthy films this year was very quality, just from what I've heard.
Much more quality compared to last year. That's for sure.
The fact that it was even nominated, well, not a remake, it's more of like a reimagining of the original story. So, yeah, thank you for correcting me, Shutter. But,
It's the kid all grown up.
But Ford versus Ferrari, it's such a good movie. It tells the story very well.
I watched it. It was really. Go ahead.
There are liberties taken with stories, with based off true stories, and that makes sense. But this is actually pretty freaking historically accurate. Mm-hmm. Ken Miles was literally the driving force behind, and you could also say that it was kind of a forced scoring error at the end of 66 Le Mans, but this was back in the day before digital scoring, where they were taking score by pen and paper. So It's very easy to screw up something like that. So
you have to.
You can tell that they did it just to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Well,
so
they wanted that 1-2-3 finish in there, and there was also the rules clause.
Actually farther back.
Yeah, it's all
Really?
It's all just, I don't know.
It's ref ball. It's ref ball before
Yeah,
there
it's
was
ref ball, but
ball.
it's still such a good movie, and if you don't know the story, if you don't know the history of Ford versus Ferrari in the 60s, go watch this movie. You'll learn most of it just by watching this one movie.
Yeah, I remember you tweeting saying that you were really surprised that it actually took home 2 Oscars with best editing and best sound editing.
10 years ago, if you told me a movie about the rivalry between Ford versus Ferrari at Le Mans was getting a movie, much less it was going to be nominated for Oscars, much less winning 2 of the 4 Oscars it was nominated for, I'd have shit my pants.
I totally see what you're saying. Anyway, we're gonna move.
And there's a good reason for the sound design too. I mean, I did also see it with some relatives, and I also thought it was very well done. I mean, with the sound design of actually recording, I guess the accurate and actual car engines, and like putting that dedication in detail into the sound.
All right.
They went the extra mile, no pun intended, and it worked.
So, yep, makes sense. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the sequel of Let It Go with Into the Unknown. Into the Unknown. All right, with Frozen 2. I actually did see it. And I can't believe
no other lyrics in that chorus.
Into the Unknown.
I got that part, but what about, is there anything else in the chorus?
No, I don't remember. Anyway, I did see Frozen 2, and guys, I can't believe I'm saying it. It's not as good as the first one. Yeah, I
Good.
can't believe I'm saying it either. The first one's actually better than the second one.
Or is it more of you realize, like when you see this, okay, this is shit. The first one was less shit. You
Exactly.
only realize that after.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as good as the first one because I feel like it's more like those Frozen shorts that they tend to make. This is basically a movie of that. If you are totally into it. I, however, am not. It's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's better than the first Frozen, but hey, it's there. We're gonna go move on to A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which I saw. Loved the movie, absolutely adored it. Thought it was great. With Tom Hanks, playing our very special friend who is still around, that we like to think is still around, Fred Rogers.
The only good thing to come out of Pittsburgh.
Hey! Remember, he was born in Latrobe. Okay, you also forget freaking who was the guy?
Pittsburgh's played to him. I know he died there, but I mean,
Hey, I'm sorry that I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan because I know somebody who works on the training staff, okay? Seattle doesn't have our team yet.
yeah. Oh, I hope they get it quick because Caps beat the Pens today, and let me tell you, it's like.
Did any of you see this film? It's called Knives Out. It was actually a really good.
My grandparents went
actually
to go see that, and I'm not sure what they thought about it.
Really, you didn't.
My grandparents went to go see it just one day because they saw it on the TV and it's like, oh, we should go see this. Never heard about like what they thought of it.
Really? Wow.
It was a while ago, so bear with me on that.
That's one I was meaning to see, and I suggested it, but we ended up seeing. This was when I saw Ford vs Ferrari. We ended up seeing Ford v Ferrari instead of this. But it does look like a nice modern whodunit kind of thing.
Very modern.
I want to see it, but I mean, I obviously can't really do that right now.
Yeah, of course.
There's another thing I would want to talk about because we could probably do this maybe towards the end, but I think I was the one who saw the Sonic movie, and I will just say right now, it was actually a lot of fun.
I'm gonna go see that this week.
Yeah, I won't spoil it. It had fun. It didn't take itself too seriously, and I think they did a great job with it. And yes, Jim Carrey was great. I know you're going to ask that. That's all. We're not going to spoil anything.
Next up is Queen and Slim. What do you have to say about that? I have nothing to say about that because I didn't go see it. Oops. Scarfy?
Did we kill him?
He's dead.
We've killed him. Well, shit. I keep wanting to call this Queenie and Slim, but I know it's not that. I don't know why, but I just keep like, I can't go into the and Slim without doing the E sound first.
All right. Well, because he has nothing to say about Queen and Slim, and I don't, we move on to Uncut Gems, which, fun fact, according to Wikipedia, the article list of films that most frequently use the word fuck, Uncut Gems comes in at 7 with 408 uses of the word fuck in the movie.
I would like to know the top 6. It's got to be the Tarantino film has to be in there somewhere, doesn't it? Maybe.
Let's see. In the top 10, there's no Tarantino film actually.
That's well, I mean, I guess they're a little more colorful, but
yeah.
I mean, I know that that was
Uncut Gems. It is 135 minutes long, 408 uses of the word fuck.
So this is like a dead meat stat of like you'd have to be on
there
average.
There are 3.02 fucks per minute.
On average, you had to say fuck like every 4 something seconds.
Yeah.
I would like to see that stat of like the average out with time and everything. How often like average you'd have to say fuck.
Yeah. I mean, Scarfy's dead, I think.
What happens?
The unfortunate thing is, I think Scarfy, something must have happened because he's not on Telegram. Oh, if you're asking where Scarface shows up on the amount of fucks, I'm not even sure if it's on this list. Scarface, I mean, that had 207, but Uncut Gem, so that's number 56 on the list. Do you want to know? Here's the top 5. So this is kind of a non sequitur because, one of our hosts is currently dying in a shed right now. So number 1, SwearNet, the movie. 112 minutes long, 935 uses of the word fuck.
SwearNet.
That's basically now the production studio of the guys who make Trailer Park Boys on Netflix.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that. Yeah, and I know that word is very much used there.
Ricky, you can't just have piss jokes on live TV, Ricky. Sorry, I love that series. Number 2 on this list, Fuck, a documentary on the word. 857 usage of the word in 93 minutes, 9.21 fucks a minute. Coming in at number 3, The Wolf of Wall Street at 569. That's a 3-hour movie. Number 4, Summer of Sam. It's a 1999 American crime thriller film about the 1977 David Berkowitz serial murders.
Real quick, Seraphy has reported to me that his internet is crashing. He is resetting it right now.
Oh, boy.
Hopefully that won't take too long. But yeah, we can go on about whatever shit we have. I haven't... The only rest of the ones I've seen here was... Yeah, actually just 1917. That was the only one of
the only other one on this list that I myself have seen, other than Ford versus Ferrari, is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and there's a lot of spice about that movie that I have to talk about, but I'm not going to because this show's already long enough as it is. Anyway, move on to number 5. I'm just going to do the top 10. Number 5 is Nil by Mouth. It's a drama film. Gary Oldman's debut as a writer and director. That came out in 97, 428 usage of the word fuck. Casino at number 6 by Martin Scorsese. Number 7's Uncut Gems. Number 8, Straight Outta Compton. Number 9, Alpha Dog, 2006 American crime drama film written and directed by Nick Cassavetes. Cassavetes. I completely butchered that. Based on the true story of the kidnapping and murder of Nicholas Markowitz in 2000.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey,
And number 10 is End of Watch, a 2012 American action thriller film written and directed by David Ayer, with 326.
Hey, what's going on?
We just stalled for time because your internet died, and I wanted to bring up that Uncut Gems comes in at number 7 on the list of films that most frequently use the word fuck.
Yeah, we're just talking about the other ones that were on the top of the list.
I thought wasn't Wolf of Wall Street number 1?
It's number 3.
What's number 1?
Number 1 is SwearNet the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Number 2 is actually a documentary on the word, so I don't really count that.
Okay, that's just cheating.
Yeah,
it's cheating.
Anyway, I'm totally stalling. Anyway, let's get back into it. Uncut Gems. I actually did get to see this movie. This is a movie that I think Krüz would actually really enjoy, if only because there's a lot to appreciate in this film. I mean, it has Adam Sandler. I mean, that's got to count for something. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he's an Adam Sandler fan, but hey.
Well, I mean, technically everyone is, but it's like there's a point where Adam Sandler comedy just kind of stopped working. But this is kind of a different approach to him, from him to into movies.
Right.
So
anyway, guys. Yeah. Thank you guys for stalling. I really do appreciate that. I even I reset my modem like 5 minutes ago. No.
Yeah.
And I reset the modem like 4 hours ago just in case my internet crashed. So I don't understand why that happened. But...
Yeah. Kyle, I don't know if you were here for this. If you're saying you just got back, but I mentioned Sonic recently, and I felt like I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Honest to God, unironically enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't talk about it too much.
I'll just say that I enjoyed it, but don't like. What did well, not taking itself too seriously, I think.
Anyway,
That's all.
Next
Anyway,
up
I'm
is
gonna
the
go ahead
Spice
and
Fest that is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, because, ooh, man, there's a lot to unpack after that movie.
and I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty goddamn awful. It's a really bad
It's
movie.
very 50-50.
I mean, like if you thought if you thought the Last Jedi was bad, holy shit, you have not seen this movie.
I enjoyed the Rise of Skywalker more than I did the Last Jedi, and then after it took me a couple days to figure out. It's like, okay, I appreciate the Last Jedi a lot more. There's still a whole lot of stupid about the Last Jedi, and there's a whole lot of stupid about the Rise of Skywalker. I'm not going to talk about it because not everybody has seen those two films.
All right. Well, anyway, Krüz, did you see this movie?
No, I was
Really?
well. I normally I would honestly, but I just wasn't. Okay, I wasn't in a position. We were in Florida for Christmas, so I wasn't in a position to make the choice. Again, we were just like throwing up names to go and see, and that ended up again being Ford v Ferrari. But I know that people were again less happy about this but also, this mini trilogy, or well, it is a trilogy. This mini series in the Star Wars universe is now over? ?
Yes.
But I think people were definitely paying more attention to Mandalorian than this. In the course, the memes. Oh, the memes. I would like to see the baby. I haven't seen anything in the show, but I already know it's supposed to be really good. The only other one, well, now that our Netflix account is back, I'm gonna want to see The Irishman. But the only other one I saw was other than Ferrari was 1917.
Kill him. Kill him now.
Anyway,
It's the only way.
anyway, we're gonna move on to Oscar season starting. Okay, we're gonna move on to Oscar season starting with Little Women. I actually did see all of the Oscar nominees, so yeah, bear with me here. I saw Little Women. I can't really go much into detail because neither of you saw this film, and I don't know if you guys know anything or about Little Women. It's based off a very popular.
I vaguely know some aspects of the story, but no. Other than if you ask me about anything about it, no.
Anyway, and then there's Little Women, and then the next film that I have, which Krüz did at
1917
was 1917, and this is a film that I was pretty sure that was projected to win Best Picture, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
I still want to see 1917, and don't go on a 45-minute rant about how much you loved Parasite and now you've seen it 60,000 times.
It's not a rant. It's not a rant.
It isn't. I think you're right. It isn't a rant, but it is. It's a something.
Anyway,
and I think yes, I love it. 1917. Apparently, some historians have reviewed it. They said there were only a very few things that were inaccurate. A lot of it, from the sound to the weapons used, were very accurate. The film, the editing. I think it got an award for editing because it was excellently done. The little cheats around the one-shot thing was very well done. I enjoyed it thoroughly. My dad didn't exactly understand it as much, but I was like, I wore my Sabaton shirt to the theater, and I was like, fucking full-on Great War mode. Yes, let's get it.
Now, and I do have to ask, between Dunkirk and 1917, which one do you like better?
I mean, if I wanted to do side by side, I'm actually probably going to have to say 1917, though I think the year when Dunkirk came out, it was appropriate that it had the companion film Darkest Hour, which Gary Oldman, in that just unquestionably the best acting I think I've ever seen ever.
In Dunkirk or
in Darkest Hour, because there were kind of like two sides of the same coin. That was Darkest Hour is more the home front, and Dunkirk
is on the battlefield.
The action, yeah. And so, as far as a work of cinematography, Dunkirk has that advantage. As far as acting, Darkest Hour. So I don't think you kind of can't have one without the other. So I just like to put those movies together. But I think 1917 did a little bit of both. I mean, the guy who played Scof, you had some cameos in there from Benedict Cumberbatch and Colin Firth, but the guy who played Schofield really just did a great job throughout the whole movie.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to these next two films, which are on Netflix, which you have the abilities to watch. So you have Netflix.
I'm planning on it.
The Irishman and Marriage Story. Marriage Story because the memes. I mean,
fucking Adam Driver.
I mean, you can't
Goofy
deny.
in a Marriage Story by Brock Baker.
And then there's also The Irishman, which was a very well done film. It is 3.5 hours long, but hey, you do have the option to pause and play whenever you want, so you don't have to watch it in a full sitting if you don't want to. You know, you have that option. And then the next film that I also saw was Jojo Rabbit, which was a very well done movie. I really liked it. Where it's freaking Taika Waititi, basically bashing Nazis, and I love it. It's hilarious, guys. You need to watch it. It's a good satire. I mean,
yeah, I'm so Hans. I love it. I mean, about the whole just bashing for bashing's sake, I think it's kind of like, yeah, sure. Yeah, look at me, punch a Nazi, virtue signaling. Yeah. You're not special. But to make it like what this kind of reminds me of, which I think is a good, it does remind me a little bit of a movie called Guess Who's Back, which is also on Netflix, I believe. It's in German, but it has English subtitles. And it's like if it's basically the premise is if Hitler somehow came back to life and emerged in modern society with TV, news, radio, and all that, because everyone really thought that it was just a joke, that he was faking it, but they didn't realize he's like, no, I'm actually serious, and they thought that was part of the act, and that's the whole thing where that comes from. But it does genuinely look like it's going to be a good satire. One I haven't seen yet. I don't know when I'm going to get to, but that's
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to our other films, including The Lighthouse, which I saw. This is a surrealist horror film, so if you're into horror films that actually have a plot, you're not going to have a good time listening to this one. Watching this one, I sure as hell didn't. In fact, the audience in my theater kind of left the theater laughing because of how monotonous it was. It was a little disappointing. And then we also have then these are the next couple of films that I saw on TV. I'm just going to name them. If you want to see it, Okja, directed by Bong Joon-ho. We'll get to that later because yeah, Bong Joon-ho. Eraserhead, the Darjeeling Limited, Wes Anderson film, All That Jazz, Rushmore, Wes Anderson film. Now here's another one, Birds of Prey. I actually got the chance to see this one. I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now. It is better than Suicide Squad, but I am not too sure if that is saying a whole lot because
I don't know, I've heard a break, and I mean, I've heard a lot of people just saying it's all a little too heavy-handed on the feminist part of it, but.
Here's
what
the
are you
thing.
gonna do?
Here's the thing. I can't really say it's feminist. I really, really can't say it's feminist because there's nothing feminist about Harley Quinn. She's a bad person who does bad things that you don't want to follow as an example in terms of character.
I think it was more of like what was surrounding the movie, not as much like the movie itself, but it's just like
maybe in terms of getting female roles. That
people are complaining about stuff happening, and they're like. I hate when a film, like, even if it's for reasons I don't agree with, when a film gets like bogged down in that just for that, and people, seem to like just judge that, not what the film is actually for in context to it. But
I mean, you'll have a fun time. A lot of people make the argument that Birds of Prey, it's actually now called Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. A lot of people make the argument that this is the female version of Deadpool. However, I don't really want to go
I don't know if Harley Quinn is that.
Well,
I mean, just it's Harley Quinn, and
I mean Margot Robbie does a great job playing her.
Oh, I mean, Margot Robbie is a great casting for Harley Quinn.
Yeah, so but
even in a shit movie like Suicide Squad, she still did great.
Yeah, I mean, but what is the biggest issue that you have with it, Naka?
I really don't have an issue with it, other than people are just gonna shit on the movie because like, oh, it's no female lead movie. I'm an incel living in my mother's basement and I don't get laid 40 times a year, so I have to feel sad about myself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna download anything that's strong about
There's
women.
people complaining that either it is that or the other side coming back and saying, well, you don't like it just because it stars female roles. I'm like, no, people aren't judging films because of that. If you want to put your agenda on the table, don't be surprised if people are not receptive to it.
I mean, look at it this way: the film is also rated R. I mean,
The film
you
is
can-
rated R. The
and you can
marketing's
get,
been
you can
hit
get
and
away
miss
with a lot
with it.
more. Oh, go ahead.
The marketing's been hit and miss with it, and because of coronavirus, the outbreak, it hasn't been doing so well in the markets. Not a whole lot of movies have, because China is literally the biggest market in the world for movies.
Yeah. So,
Ironic. I mean, considering that's like, they have to censor half of them.
and then we're finally going to move on to the best picture of the year, which is of last year, which is guys, Parasite. I love this movie. I absolutely love Parasite. Okay,
Just read
so
his Twitter page about it. We don't have. We still have a lot to go through.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now. It won Best Picture when it won Best Picture at the Oscars, and I don't know if Naka was watching it. But when it won the Best Picture nominee, I was ecstatic. I literally screamed out of my chair because I was so happy it won, because it was.
I just shit my pants.
It was the most deserving out of all the films. The most deserving. And I loved it. And they finally, Oscars finally broke out of the barrier of finally, having a film that is not in the English language to actually win. I mean, how many?
But what about Del Toro? I was like, well, that is English. Well,
yeah. So, but anyway, Parasite, great movie. Really loved it. I saw it 4 times. I saw it once at my usual theater. I saw it twice with friends. And then the third time that I saw it, I actually got to see it at Walt Disney Animation Studios with Joaquin Baldwin. And then the fourth time I saw it was at IMAX, which was yesterday, which I really, really enjoyed. I love this movie to death. I have the movie. I own it myself. I'm getting a poster later that I want framed on my wall, praising Bong Joon-ho for his magnificent, masterpiece that he made. If you haven't got, guys, please, I am begging you, please go see it. That's all I have to say. Anyway, finally. We are finally going to move on to the week ahead. Naka, do your thing.
I'm the invisible man. I'm the invisible man. Incredible how you can see right through me.
Okay, it was an audio gag.
Yes,
it was an audio gag, so
all right.
We're talking about the invisible man doing it.
Yes, with that, we are going to kick the season of film off with another horror remake based off a classical book written at least 100 years ago. The Invisible Man is an upcoming 2020 horror film written and directed by Leigh Whannell. The film is modern reimagining of both the novel by H.G. Wells and the classic 1933 horror film adaptation of the same name. It stars Elizabeth Moss, Aldous Hodge, Storm Reed, Harriet Dyer, and Oliver Jackson Cohen as the title character. The film is also an international co-production of the United States and Australia. This project was announced to be revived as part of the Universal's shared cinematic universe in 2016, known as the Dark Universe, intended to consist of the classic monsters, with Johnny Depp cast as the title role of the film, with Ed Solomon writing the screenplay. However, after The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise, was released with negative critical reception and a poor box office performance, the studio halted all projects in development, and they basically cut the Dark Universe idea completely out of the picture because it just wasn't working. They changed their plans from a serialized universe of films based on individualized storytelling instead, and the project re-entered development and is a co-production between Blumhouse Productions, Nervous Tick, Goalpost Pictures, and Universal Pictures, which serves as its distributor.
Did you say Goalpost Pictures? Cody Parkey triggered.
Don't get me started, Shutterwolf. Do not get me started. We'll talk about that when we get to that. Anyway.
Just be glad you're not talking about the Chinese.
Trapped in a violent, controlling relationship with a wealthy and brilliant scientist, Cecilia Koss escapes in the dead of a night and disappears into hiding, aided by her sister, their childhood friend, and his teenage daughter. But when Cecilia's abusive ex commits suicide and leaves her a generous portion of the vast fortune, Cecilia suspects his death was a hoax. As a series of eerie coincidences turns lethal, threatening the lives of those she loves, her sanity begins to unravel as she desperately tries to prove that she is being hunted by someone nobody can see. One thing I will have to mention is that it's interesting to see a remake being made from a film 87 years ago by the same company, Universal. I'm actually put in a little bit of a spot here. I never saw the classic James Whale film that was made a long time ago. So
that's the Frankenstein director, right?
correct. And so I couldn't tell you how good the movie was, if it was good, nor have I read the book. The film is directed by Leigh Whannell, who was responsible for writing a lot of horror movies, including the Saw films, the Insidious franchise, and also directed the film Upgrade, which I actually end up seeing. So the film is kind of up in the air for me. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but at the very least, its budget is very small, so I don't see it doing poorly financially. It's just a matter of how good it's going to be in terms of the critical reception. Don't know if I'll see it, but at least there's some thrills and effects designs to appreciate there. The film releases on February 27th, and a day later in the U.S. on February 28th. So, anyway, guys, what do you have to say regarding this?
That's a weird release, but okay.
I mean, it is an Australian production, so
okay, that makes more sense. It's very interesting. I've seen the trailers for it because it's advertised on TV. Whoa, imagine me watching TV for once in my life. Yeah, but it's very interesting.
We're talking about Zoomers don't watch TV.
But it's very interesting to just see and think about. And I haven't read the story. This is the first I've really heard about an invisible man. Incredible how you can see right through me.
I thought it was gonna be like, now I disappear.
No, that was the Scatman John cover of the Queen song, "The Invisible Man."
Right.
That
Anyway.
I did the gag for, and hopefully YouTube doesn't take us down. But it was less than 20 seconds. It's not. It shouldn't pick up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. Yeah,
But it's very interesting. It's going to be very psychological, and it's going to be very fun.
yeah, but
What
from
do you have to say regarding this movie, Krüz?
the 30s thing, yeah, I just said it was early sound. 'Cause I saw for the horror fiction class the James Whale Frankenstein, which there's something I want to do, and I hope people don't take the idea, but I want to have that be like the intro to like a metal song. The how do you do? It's like this film might shock you. It might even thrill you. It might horrify you. That would be like a great like cold open to like a metal album or something. The only thing that kind of took me out of this trailer, other than I'll start with saying actually that some of the jump scare things looked pretty predictable, like the slowly looking over the attic opening. I'm like, come on, man, do something else. And then the paint, and the head looks like a fucking golf ball.
And you're like, what the hell?
What kind of paint was that? Because I don't know, with all these little divots around it, looked like a golf ball. I'm like,
I know.
what? I'm like, what? Other than that, I'm like, yeah, things seem great. Yeah, Blumhouse. I mean, I know that they're generally a name that appears quite a bit in horror, but they also make some things that are kind of cheesy, some things are not cheesy. So
I believe they made a Whiplash. Blumhouse did.
I would believe it.
Let me look that up. Yeah, it was Blumhouse Productions.
Yeah, I saw Blumhouse is often present in horror. They made like the Happy Death Day, which apparently was not as bad as it was made out to be. But
Yeah.
if dead meat is to be believed, I said death meat, whatever.
But anyway, what do you have to say regarding this film, Krüz? Anything else you guys want to say?
Nope, that's it. I want to see what Harry Potter's up to nowadays.
Was this was the thing about the meme where it's just him like with the guns in his hand, like in a bathrobe. Like people were thinking, like, is he okay? No, it was just for the movie.
Right.
Harry Potter with a gun. Harry Potter with a gun.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we're gonna start, to get Videodrome senses in this film. So we're gonna move on to our next film, which is Guns Akimbo. It's a 2019 action comedy film written and directed by Jason Leigh Howden. It stars Daniel Radcliffe, Natasha Liu Bordizzo, and Samara Weaving. The film had its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 9th. It is scheduled for a theatrical release on March 5th. The title is a reference to Akimbo, a combat style in which two weapons are used with one in each hand. So if the word Akimbo doesn't give you any hints about what is going on, here it is. Nerdy video game developer Miles is a little too fond of stirring things up on the internet with his caustic prodding and antagonizing comments. So basically a troll. One night, he makes the mistake of drunkenly dropping an inflammatory barb on a broadcast of Schism, an illegal deathmatch fight club streamed to the live public. In response, Richter, the maniacal mastermind behind the channel, decides to force Miles to join the quote-unquote fun. Miles wakes to find heavy pistols bolted into his bones and learns Nyx, the trigger-happy star of Schism, is his first opponent. So there's not much to say here when it comes to Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter. We all know they're trying very hard to get away from the roles that made them who they are today, and why shouldn't they do that?
I have experience with that. He accidentally spit on me once at Broadway.
Wait, really? Oh, yeah.
I went to, I'm not sure if I've told this story on the air before, but this is going to be a little bit of a non sequitur. When I lived in New Jersey, we did go see Broadway plays because we were like 45 minutes away from Times Square. So, yeah, one day I forget if it was my mom or dad, but got 4 front row seats to How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And Daniel Radcliffe was the star. So, because you're on Broadway, you have to project your voice, and sometimes a little spit comes out. That was a very interesting day. Luckily, we didn't get drenched or anything, but it was like, I can say I was spit on by Daniel Radcliffe, and the play was How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. It's great. It's a great musical
it's a really
comedy.
Good play?
And the thing about the roles, getting away from the roles, I think there's only one role that I can remember that he was in that was non-Harry Potter, and that was Woman in Black. That was actually not. It was a pretty half-decent horror film.
Did you know that the national tour for How to Succeed...
the second one.
Fun fact, did you know that the national tour for How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying in 1996, the main character was Ralph Macchio, a.k.a. the Karate Kid?
The OG Karate Kid?
So yeah, the OG Karate Kid. So we went from Karate Kid to Harry Potter. It's interesting. But hey,
that's around.
We must continue with illegal death matches with guns being bolted to your bones.
Exactly.
It's like steal the car. When you steal a car in GTA, sorry. And they run away screaming.
Right. As I was saying, we all know they're trying very hard to get away from the roles that made them who they are today. And why shouldn't they do that? They're grown now. They have a lot of things on their plates. It's nice to see. This is a film that doesn't have a whole lot of attention. The director, Jason Leigh Howden, was known for doing a lot of digital and visual effects in popular movies such as the Hobbit trilogy, Avengers, and War for the Planet of the Apes. This is apparently his first step in a film history to bring some light to his career as a filmmaker. So I can only hope he does well here. Not much to say about the film other than its short and sweet picture that will hopefully get off the ground. I'm interested. The film will have a limited release on February 28th, so you will have to check it in your theater if it is playing first.
This is my kind of movie. I can just say that right now.
Okay, so why is it your kind of movie?
Well, it's a video game style movie that isn't directly based off of a video game, at least that I know of.
There's another one like that.
There's internet culture involved with it and social media toxicity, so that's also interesting.
And again, streaming.
And streaming, mind you.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's the main role, Daniel Radcliffe. He has 2 guns bolted into the bones of his arms. How metal is that?
It sounds like it would have been a Saw trap, but if Saw was a comedy.
Have you ever seen the horror film Videodrome? I can't help to think that this is which I own. I can't help to think this is kind of like that, but I can't also say what exactly is going on. So, I mean, if you ever get the chance to see Videodrome, it is a one trippy movie.
Canadian
So,
science, 1983 Canadian science fiction horror film written and directed by
David Cronenberg.
I'll look into it.
First, it controls your mind.
Right, but
But
but hey, yeah, there is actually a scene that involves a gun, but I'm not gonna say what happens in it. So, anyway, Guns Akimbo.
I can guess what's.
Krüz, what do you have to say about Guns Akimbo?
Yeah, like I said, if you take a saw trap concept and turn it into a comedy, but not as directly as that. I wasn't sure at first. I was looking at the trailer. I'm like, eh. But then as it went on, I'm like, okay, I can get into this. As much as having guns actually bolted. My first question, the thing that actually took me out of it, I'm like, how is he going to reload? Does he can't really grab things. Of course, he can do jungle clip it maybe and just
I think they'll address this when we get the chance.
I know, but it's what jungle clip. What jungle clip means is you take one clip and then you put another clip next to it upside down. You tape it so that when you have one clip done, you take it out, flip it over, and put it back in.
That's basically just a dual mag.
Yeah. I don't know. I know the term is jungle clip, but the of course because of Vietnam, but I was like, yeah, there's ways to do it. If you just have them at your sides, you just go. It looks like it's just a crazy dumb action movie. I mean, dumb in a good way, mind you, but dumb amounts of action. So yeah, sure, I'm all for it. I want to see what Radcliffe has to offer here.
Anyway,
on to my favorite fast food restaurant.
All right, well.
Oh, you mean the Big Muffin?
Yeah, that's the one.
So,
Wendy!
We're going to move on to probably the film that I am most excited for. It's time to probably one of the most anticipated films from a director that I have wanted to see from in a long time. Wendy is a 2020 American fantasy drama directed by Ben Zeitlin from a screenplay by Zeitlin and her wife, Eliza Zeitlin. His wife, rather. The film stars Devin France, Yashua Mack, Gage Naquin, Gavin Naquin, Ahmad Cage, Christoph Maine, and Romri Ross. Wendy had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 26th of this year.
No Dante Bosco.
A different telling of the classic Peter Pan story by J.M. Barrie. The film is a retelling of a young girl who is kidnapped and taken away from her home to an island where a mysterious pollen has disrupted the cycles of age and time. The film follows a friendship love story adventure as she and a joyous, reckless, pleasuring-mongering young boy swirl in and out of youth as the ecosystem around them spirals towards destruction. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is I need to point out is that the film is directed by Ben Zeitlin, who was able to prove his worth as a filmmaker by making the hard-hitting emotional piece Beasts of the Southern Wild. Great film, by the way. I believe Krüz did see it. He was very impressed by it. I was very impressed by it.
Unfortunately, as much as I enjoyed it, it's been a long time, so I can only remember so much. But I remember it's kind of like the wandering through a wasteland kind of thing.
Yes.
It's like the same, it makes sense you'd make something kind of in the Peter Pan world, based on that childlike imagination and wonder, kind of I can see how this and what he did well in Beasts of Southern Wild taken to this, I can see how he would do that well.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. The film had a budget of a little less than $2 million, making $23.3 million at the box office, which is a relatively good deal, especially for a micro budget. It's damn impressive. The most peculiar thing that happened to him is that the film released in 2012, and then he got a lot of critical praise and accolades after it, ending with the 2013 Academy Awards show, being nominated for Best Picture in 3 other categories. Then when the Oscar show was over, Ben Zeitlin just kind of disappeared. He made his movie, he won all these awards, And then after that, he was nowhere to be seen. Not on social media. There were no updates on any of the films he was making, other than an update from an IMDb page, which with nothing to link to. He just disappeared off the face of the earth. Fast forward a couple years later in 2015, we heard he would write and direct another film with production beginning in 2017, and in 2018, Fox Searchlight, which is now owned by Disney, acquired the distribution rights, and we finally get a word from him that he is making his next movie. So, according to Zeitlin, the film took a long time to stay in production due to the amount of non-actor children, exotic locations, and practical effects used, which is why it needed the time that it did. For the record, I'm pretty excited. Not only does the music in the trailer captivate me, but I really loved Beasts of the Southern Wild so much that I wanted to see another film from him for a while. Visually, the film looks stunning, so I'm hoping it'll give us that auteur look from Zeitlin, which will hopefully look great. I'm very interested in it and seeing it. The film releases February 28th. Guys, if you haven't seen Beasts of the Southern Wild, you really need to see it before seeing this film. I really enjoyed it. What do you have to say regarding the trailer? Because the trailer looks fantastic.
It's
Naka.
aesthetic.
Like, what do you mean it's aesthetic?
Every letter spaced out one.
Like, it's visually pleasing.
Really?
Aesthetic. Well, that, and, as you said, it is a different... It's a different telling of the classic Peter Pan story. Something it's like, hey, look at me, I'm Peter Pan. Let's go on this adventure. Now it's from Wendy's perspective.
Right. So,
Come on, give me Dave's double and let's go home. I think I can see some bits of the same directorial touch from Southern Wild as this. Now that I think more about it, so I don't know if this is something I go see by myself, but definitely would see with the family. Because, I mean, Westminster doesn't have a lot of great options, and this is Westminster, Maryland, by the way, not another Westminster, because there's about 50 of them, or probably more than that in the U.S. We have one theater nearby, and then there's Towson in Baltimore, but yeah, not much choice, but it does look like a very good. It's a good movie, but one I would just like to see with my family, just because it's like they would want to see it too.
mm-hmm. But yeah, I really like what I'm seeing with this film. So I can only say what is really going to be going on. So we can only hope that it goes the way that I would want it to go. So. Yeah, that's it for our films coming out for the week ahead. So, but yeah, guys, Wendy, I really can't wait to see it. I hope it's good. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next film, which is to our comedy attractions rather. And boy, we have a lot to talk about, don't we?
Antlers. Oh no, this guy's actually a deer boy. Why do we care? Because he's a deer boy.
Monster. He's the monster from The Ritual.
Okay, one at a time. Let's take it one at a time. All right. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Antlers. With a small town organ teacher and her brother, the local sheriff, become entwined with a young student harboring a dangerous secret with frightening consequences. I mean, it's a horror film. I kind of want to know what it's about, though. And
this poor deer boy.
The kid's hiding a secret.
Why do you keep saying "poor dear boy"?
Because I feel bad for him. Because if his secret comes out, everybody's just going to call him Deer Boy, and he's going to be experimented on by thousands of scientists from God knows where.
Not if he kills them first. I mean,
we don't even know if he's Deer Boy.
Well, if he's hiding a secret with frightening consequences, and the movie's called Antlers, and it's about a young student, it's Deer Boy.
Deer Boy.
Not Pony Boy. Different character.
Stay called Pony Boy.
Yeah, in many ways, this seems very much like a classic horror movie. And that's what I like from what's happened from, Midsommar, I will say, honestly, it's only minorly disappointing. I would not say it was very good, very trippy, It was like if they made Far Cry 5 into a movie in Sweden. But it was less, it was more just surreal. No like horror, but it was just like surrealness throughout. I do appreciate the use of the Blood Eagle, but I think Hereditary was a great modern version of like a classic horror movie. I think that this is taking the success of that. Um, like he's this kid is just bringing food to this creature, doesn't know what it is, he doesn't see it. And then when shit starts happening, and that's where the movie really kicks off. But I think that what seems to be happening is that this thing is becoming less and less human as you know it gets stronger. So that's where the fun part happens, and the rest is left up to mystery. So I think, yeah, I enjoy that premise. I hope it's good, because it looks like it should be very well done.
All right. All right, we're going to move on to the next film, which is Antebellum. A successful author finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality and must uncover the mind-bending mystery before it's too late. A lot of the word antebellum, which is basically a word that, describes something regarding, pre-Civil War, post-Civil War.
Antebellum.
It kind of gives you the...
it literally
what?
means before the war.
Yeah, so it gives you... It will...
Southern style of, like, living.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is like the third Peel. It's not by Peel, is it?
No, it's by Gerard Bush and Christopher Renz.
It's like in the vein of I didn't see Get Out, but I did see Us.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I think it was an interesting way to do the horror movie. I saw it actually in Hungary. But I think this is kind of like maybe more in tune with like a surreal story, like not an R.L. Stein or Dave Lubar, I guess, kind of story of like more surreal than horror. Like you get transported back in time, or something gets transported to you. Like if it takes you, blah blah blah. I can see the premise very well, but I'm not sure where it's going from there. I mean, it's probably. I don't know if it necessarily entails that what Kyle just said, but I think it is very. I would say maybe it does, because it's indicative more of the time or the zeitgeist or whatever.
It is the era.
Right. What do you have to say? What do you have to say regarding it, Krüz? I mean, Naka.
Well, now I don't have anything to say about that after you did that.
Naka.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I don't have much to say other than
nothing has really been let loose, because not enough has been let loose because you don't know what to think.
Yeah.
All right, I understand. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to our next film with Brahms the Boy 2.
Hungarian Dance number 5.
A family moves into a mansion where their young son soon makes friends with a lifelike doll called Brahms. And guys, I should mention also. I should mention also that there is a first film that no one ever got to see.
And I think I remember seeing the poster of it, but that's it. And then I did look up this movie. Rotten Tomatoes, 11%. That's a hisser.
Wait. Actually got 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I mean, not as good. But then I'm looking.
I mean, part 2, not the first one.
Oh no!
This one.
Oh no!
Yeah, this one, not the first one.
Oh well, no!
That's a little disappointing.
That's an oof.
Yeah. It already released 2 days ago, so it's kind of begging the question as to why we're talking about it. I just forgot, but hey,
it doesn't look bad, but it's just like, I mean, doll horror freaks me out every time. That's like why I think The Conjuring was a great movie.
I don't want this to be a repeat of that one Jimmy Neutron episode.
Anything that is not anything that is not, Chucky. Which episode are you talking about?
It was the one where like Jimmy's dad has a ventriloquist doll and is not very good, and then has the microchip installed, and it becomes like actually sentient.
Oh God.
That oh yeah, and it slowly drains his intelligence.
Flippy.
Where
It was
Jimmy's
flippy.
dad's basically dead, and the doll's like fully alive while his arms moving.
That is a dark concept for the record.
It's
By the way, Kyle, I fucking love him. But yeah, evil.
Silence.
all right.
I kill you.
Let's move on, guys. Come on.
Yes.
Basically, to the reimagining of rear view window.
The women in the window. In agoraphobic women, agoraphobic means not liking to go outside. Woman psychologist meets a neighbor only to see her life turn upside down when she suspects foul play.
This is literally the because we saw this in English class in high school of that classic Hitchcock film Rear Window. This is like very heavily inspired by that movie, like plot wise, because the guy suspects that he sees a murder. He's not agoraphobic. He's just physically disabled. He's like his leg is broken or something, so he can't go outside. But he sees what he suspects is a murder, and he eventually begins to obsess about it, put the pieces together, and he ends up being right. So yeah, that's it. It does remind me a lot of that, so I think that's where it becomes really interesting, and then the plot thickens further.
Yeah. So, Naka.
I mean, agoraphobia. It's playing into that. But suspecting somebody of foul play, that could also mean it could also be kind of like paranoia or schizophrenia or something like that, and this could be an interesting film. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It has a lot of potential so far.
Speaking of another interesting film,
Yes. We're gonna move on to our next.
Saw's back.
We're gonna move on to our next film, which is called Spiral. And the funny thing about this is that the story is actually from Chris Rock. Really?
Hello, Scarfy. I would like to play a game.
In this chapter of Saw, a series about sadism and torture, two law enforcers are now taking charge of a grisly investigation that may end up putting them in the hands of their suspect.
You mean like previous Saw films? How original!
Kramer that's been dead for years yet still has an unlimited amount of shit up his sleeve,
And has so many followers and predecessors,
including a new one that was established in Jigsaw.
What do you have to say regarding this particular trailer?
I want to see how this plays out first, and then I'll go see it.
How many Saw films have you guys seen?
This will be the 9th film.
I've seen
That you've seen?
Yes, I have seen Saw 1
You've seen.
through 3D, Jigsaw, and yes.
CNC, was it?
What is wrong with you guys?
Hey, I've seen all of them.
To be fair, I watched it along with pretty much it, so I had some comfort with me.
Was it hilarious?
Yes.
What would be wrong is if the things don't like gross you out at all. But I mean, it's like because of you probably know but the relationship between horror and metal is very much tight knit. I think because I watched all of them in preparation to see Jigsaw. Obviously, I think still the second one is my favorite. The first one, second favorite. Jigsaw is actually my third favorite because I think it was well done, but not too like convoluted. Except it does the thing at the end where it plays that music, the da 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 da, when it's like revealing all the plot things.
Right. So
Yeah, I mean, you could have seen none of the original Saw ones to understand Jigsaw, but also it ties it back in a way that it can be a standalone, but it's also it's rewarding if it's tied in. I think this is able to like kind of. Hopefully that this means that they're kind of like doing a different version of the Saw universe, not the different version, but like.
But seriously, I can't believe you guys actually like these sorts of things. So I'm actually kind of surprised that you guys saw it. But hey,
I think because like until it got real convoluted with plot, it was clever in ways that it tried to get people to do certain things. Like, something still make my toes curl up, like the pit of needles. No.
Anyway, we're spending a little too much time on Spiral. All I can say is that it actually stars Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. So I'm actually kind of surprised.
Motherfucking sauce.
I'm on my motherfucking face. No. Anyway.
I'm hoping for something like that in the movie.
Anyway, we're gonna move
Next
on
up-
to our next trailer.
Yay!
Maud.
Toxic religion.
A hospice nurse who has converted to Roman Catholicism and is concerned that she may be possessed when she becomes infatuated with another woman.
Is that what's happening? I couldn't tell from the trailer. I wasn't sure.
Here's the thing. It's also distributed by A24, and it's actually getting really good reviews. So at least there's that.
At least there's
just
that.
don't know what-
But oh
I
my
just don't know what
goodness,
to
I'm
think
a
of it.
Roman Catholic. I'm starting to have feelings for somebody of the same gender. I am obviously demon possessed.
I'm gonna have to see this film because this is like
I don't
crazy,
know if
crazy.
that's why. I think it was not because she had feelings, but like that happened to happen, and then I don't know. She's like, I can feel him inside me, or something. Was like, you mean the spirit of God? Question mark. It didn't really like expand on that, but I suppose that's what the movie release is for.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to our next trailer, which is Run. It actually came out a day ago. That I actually posted in Twitter, so I hope you guys are all paying attention because all of these were posted on Twitter. So Run is about a a homeschooled teenager who uses a wheelchair begins to suspect her overprotective mother is keeping a dark, sinister secret from her. By not letting her go outside or something. I don't know.
I mean, from what I get from the trailer, I think it seems that it's just some emotional, manipulative fuckery is at play because it's like an abusive relationship in a way that it's like the mother is genuinely upset when the kid leaves, but she's like crying. But then also when she comes back, it's like you'll see it. I'm more interested in this thing after this.
Yeah, trapping somebody inside when they're handicapped, not a good idea.
Yeah.
And the whole refrain, you need me, you need me.
Yeah, I don't know. What
Seems to say more about the protector than the protectee.
See, now in this next movie's case, maybe that's a good idea.
You know why? Because it's chapter 2 in the next part of the film, guys. Quiet Place Part 2. After the events at home in the first film, a family must now venture into the unknown. They realize the creatures that hunt by sound are not the only threats that lurk beyond the sand path, which is basically, how they walk on a sand path with their bare feet because they don't want to make footstep sounds. This is what they use, and they're finally gonna get off of it, and that's a very interesting concept. I did see the first Quiet Place. I don't know if you saw it, Krüz.
I saw bits and pieces of it.
I saw it, yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. I thought I wasn't sure what to think when it said like, "Oh, this is John Krasinski's was it his directorial debut?"
Yeah, I believe.
I would say like he did a fucking fantastic job because it was genuinely like a tense horror movie, and one of the benefits of actually seeing it in theaters, you might actually have gotten a well-behaved audience because people were like, when you're playing a horror video game, you hold your breath involuntarily. Mm-hmm. That's what this movie did. And this second part, which I guess is technically the prequel, but yeah, I'm interested to see because the original movie started on like day 68 after everything went down. Like this is like starting day 0, part 2. But starts like 2 months after the first movie starts 2 months after. So this is an interesting way to kind of expand that universe. And I'm interested to see what they do if they don't just have the monsters. Well, here's the thing. If they don't just have the monsters that hunt by sound, if they have other things, why are those things not in the original one? Whatever. They can explain it away however they want, but I'm interested to see more of this kind of universe.
Hey, at least it's not the Bird Box universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually kind of excited to see A Quiet Place Part 2. So I can only hope it's actually going to be good, if not better than the first, because the first one has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. There are some flaws with.
And also, it genuinely, I will say one thing before you. finish that. It's characters. Something horror films not always good with. Characters in that were great.
Now, I mean, you're also dealing with characters who are not talking; they're using American Sign Language, which is also
Yeah, the child was one of the little,
actresses
yeah, the little girl was actually one who was
deaf.
deaf, and that made it. I mean, it also made it so much more creepy when like she couldn't tell when something was creeping up on her, except when her hearing aid like started going haywire. But yeah, I think they made real good use of that and like incorporated it into a horror element, which I think was a fantastic move. And it paid off.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to
Why? I mean,
You shouldn't
Wha-
have even brought this up. But yeah, it's Minions: The Rise of Gru. Can we talk about it? We cannot talk about it. Okay,
a-
we're done.
a young-
Bye.
they'll milk now until it is dead.
A young aspired supervillain now comes across yellow miniature goofballs looking to cause mayhem. Okay, Illumination. Look. Minions aren't funny. They're never gonna be funny. Stop trying to make them funny.
Tell that to the boomers.
Just.
Boomers.
Oh my god, I don't understand. Like, why? 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 like why? I mean,
Why have thou forsaken me?
what? How do we still have them around? Why can't they just go
Because
away?
it makes money.
Boomers and small children.
I mean, you saw like the Scarfy, come on. I mean, even if you like your genuine opinion of Frozen, you had to have noticed the abundance. The inundation of children's merch for Frozen. The little backpacks, slippers, fucking, I don't know, anything you can name.
Right.
Little figurines, whatever. You know it. I mean, come on, you gotta admit that this little children, they eat that shit up. The Minions, they will eat that shit up.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing this. Because it in a perverse universe, it works.
Apparently so. But hey, I have no interest in seeing it. Krüz, Naka.
Yeah,
I
I'm
already
not.
told you. No.
All right. Well,
I really, they're like, I've lost. I'm like, I saw this trailer. I'm like, wait,
No.
this franchise is really hanging on to the bitter end.
yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on to our next film. So hold on. Naka, I want you to do your best impression of this character that I know what you're talking about.
Like Zoink Scoob, a boy and a talking dog become the unlikeliest of friends and runs into a group of kids from a mystery clue digging gang of put away masked villains dressed up as monsters looking to cause trouble.
You do your best doing the Shaggy impression, but hey.
Or I'll
Now-
say, hooray!
Now, what do you have to say? Now, this trailer I actually really like. I mean,
There is one very glaring problem. Scooby doesn't start every word with R. What the fuck?
Wait, that's a problem. I thought the biggest problem for me was
that was like, to me, well, if it's something that like takes you out of the immersion, that's what did it to me. I'm like, I'll never take it off. I'm like, this isn't Scooby. This isn't how Scooby sounds. What the fuck?
but
Even a different voice actor.
right. So what do you have to say regarding like Soink Scoob? Like I remember you sending me a video of your haircut and saying that you are freaking Shaggy, Naka.
That was like 8 months ago.
I know, and I still remember it. So, I did actually get to see. I did actually saw the trailer, and I do like that. There's a song by Avicii playing in this trailer. You know, where he gives the dog the collar. You just hear this beautiful tune playing. I can't help to think that's actually misleading advertising. You know what I mean? Like, remember, like a good example I can give you is when Frozen 2 is trying very hard to seem like it's a dark trailer, which actually interests audiences. but only alienates them in the process. So it's like, oh, well, you know, I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, what do you have to say regarding it, Naka? Really?
I mean, I have lost interest in Scooby Doo, but for those who don't, who are still like keeping tabs on the franchise, go ahead.
I mean, at least it's not the live action films. I'll give you that. I'll give it that.
Fucking Raja Gosnell.
That was a special, strange time. I enjoyed those when I watched them, but it's like the one thing that I still actually just find funny from that is the Shaggy's, and we will cease to be loserific, lame-tastic, and sucktacular.
That was in Scooby Doo 2. Oh, and fun fact, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this. Scooby Doo 1 and 2 is actually written by James Gunn. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it either.
So it comes full circle.
Full circle.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to.
I needed that. You're pushing your luck, Scoob. That was when Matthew Lillard broke on set. Anyway, moving on to the third SpongeBob movie, even though I think the franchise should be axed, but you know what Nickelodeon likes to do? Farm money.
First, number one problem, animation. Number two.
A beloved sponge and his starfish friend must find his pet snail after it's been snail napped, which his friends take the time to look for.
We already had this episode.
Well, we had it
already left.
Well, we had it in a episode, but it's not the same exact episode. It's a different kind of episode. So, yeah. So, Naka, what do you have to say regarding this film? Because I mean, I like the animation. I'll give it that.
The animation looks great, but
yeah, like what
the plot, maybe not.
Did you see the other two SpongeBob films?
Yes, I did, and I enjoyed them. But with this plot,
Keanu Reeves
I can't watch. I can't even watch. Have you seen this snail anymore? Okay.
Gary, come home.
Do you think you'll ever watch this? It's
Probably.
not exactly him.
Probably because it's actually somebody kidnapping a snail, or it's pet napping. So it's a different situation. So
right.
I'll give this one a watch. It's not going to be painful.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, the only other thing I can say is that you took my favorite food and now I'm going to starve.
Rectangles. Anyway, let's move on. We're running long enough as it is.
Yes, we are. We're going to move on with Children of the Sea. A girl feels closer to the aquarium when she meets ghosts who draw her there when she was young. She meets two boys there with something calling her to the scene. So, this is a...
Children watch the sea.
Oh, seriously, what do you have to say regarding the animation? This is a film that was made from an animation studio in Japan. I am trying to get it was actually made by Studio 4C. That is 4 Celsius. So that is going to be interesting. I mean, the animation looks great, and the story I can only say looks good. So maybe it'll actually be really well done. I can only say that much. But what do you have to say regarding this film, Naka?
I mean, it's interesting. SpongeBob does need to hire Ace Ventura. Hello, may I ask you a few questions?
And Cannibal Corpse while they're at it, I guess.
Holy Testicle Tuesday. That would be fun. But Children of the Sea, I mean, it's kind of got that sort of vibe of a little bit of Spirited Away, almost. It's got that Studio Ghibli vibe, a little bit of Ponyo. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this. But good mixed feelings, not bad mixed feelings.
I see what you're saying. All right, well...
Oh my god, horses! Oh my god, horses! Let's go ride horses, guys! Oh my god, horses! 30-inch penis!
There's no cock like horse. Cock. Okay.
Okay.
Hey! Don't blame me. Pepper made the song. I don't. Yeah. Anyway, a cleaner, Dream Horse, a cleaner/bartender decides to breed a racehorse in her Welsh village. As the horse rises through the ranks, the townspeople are pitted against the racing elite in a race for the national championship. So yeah, this is a film literally about a horse who is trying to save the like people of the town, I guess.
Kind of
From
ways. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what to say regarding this, but hey, it's there, so
It's like another
Um,
To quote the Tourette's guy, "Fuck horses." I'm sorry,
No.
horses.
fuck horses.
100 years ago, rich men could afford cars, and only poor people could afford horses.
Really?
100 years later, only rich people can afford horses, and only poor people can afford cars. My, how the stables have turned.
Oh, how the turns have stabled.
yeah, I
Tabled.
totally see what you're
Caught
saying.
the
So
loop.
table anyway. Uh, yeah. So I don't really know what to say regarding this film. I can only say it's gonna be okay-ish, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. So
Let's go
Sure.
ride horses. Let's go ride
I've
horses.
seen-
Let's go ride horses. 30-inch penis.
I mean,
Anyway.
I've seen. Was it Sea? It wasn't called Seabiscuit, but the movie was called something else.
Like racing stripes or
Flicka,
something?
Flicka.
No, oh no, it was Seabiscuit. Oh, whatever. Well, I come from a city where
Secretariat.
Secretariat. That's what it was. I come from a city where horse racing plays a large part in our relevance. That's Baltimore, of course. Yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. Maybe something I'll see with my family. I'll say that. And go whale.
Anyway.
Sure.
We have a stable genius here. All right.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next film, which is In
In
the
the
Heights. After inheriting his grandmother's fortune, a young man who works at a bodega must now choose the difference between his dream of being rich or his family. So, yeah, this is a very interesting trailer because it's more like a musical type thing. So I can only hope it's actually going to be really well done. So
Yeah, it's it's like, oh, do I choose family or do I choose freedom and money? I don't know. It's kind of a trope I've kind of numbed to at this point.
yeah, so it's just it's one of those things. So I can only hope it's actually going to be better than what the trailer is trying to show me. I know it'll probably get a lot of attention in my area because I actually do serve a lot of a huge Latinx portion of the community, which is a lot of Latinx people live here. So, hey, it is what it is. So,
Wait. We shall move on to the New Mutants.
Yes, a film that should have been released 3 years ago, and I can't believe we're still talking about it. A group of young mutants are looking to escape a dangerous psychiatric hospital and make it out alive. Yeah. So interesting story. This film was supposed to come out this film was advertised in 2017. Was supposed to come out in 2018.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen the trailer or like parts of the trailer before.
And it was delayed because unfortunately there was something going on with Fox wanted it to be scarier and it wanted to look so they had to do reshoots, and then there was the whole dynamic between Fox and Disney and all this other stuff, and we had all this and we had all that, and it's finally coming out. It's been a while. I don't have this. I do not have any high hopes for this film at all, guys. I am really scared for it. If Dark Phoenix wasn't a sign of things to come when it comes to the X-Men franchise before X-Men is completely owned by Disney, then this film definitely is, because holy shit, guys, it looks a little bleak, and I can't help to think it would really have to impress me and pretty much everyone in general if this film is actually a well done sign off for the X-Men franchise, because it has not done well. The X-Men franchise has not done well at all.
Yeah, especially the past couple years, because they're just like, let's break it.
Last one, Future Past, which I thought was really good, but
Days of Future Past was beautifully well done.
That's the last thing of the X-Men that I've seen, other than I guess the one that was before that. Because we were my family and I, we were looking at like home theater models in a store, and we saw a clip of an earlier X-Men movie. Can't remember which one it was, but I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy.
Hey, speaking of X-Men, Free Guy, starring a former X-Men.
Oh,
Whose balls did he have to fondle to get this one?
I think an NPC in a video game character in a video game becomes aware of his world being a video game and now must race against time to save it before developers can shut it down. Free Guy,
This looks
starring.
really fun.
It looks like a really. It looks like a really fun movie because Ryan Reynolds is great. He's a treasure. I mean, you can't. You love Ryan Reynolds from now on.
Yes. It's almost as if the movie is irresistible.
Do you love Ryan Reynolds, Krüz?
I think that as much as I mean, since
You love Deadpool.
Yeah, since I saw Deadpool, and I was even before that, I liked him, but like that was like, okay, I really like this guy, and I'm gonna pay attention to movies that he's in more. I think that it kind of has the, and granted, I never saw Ready Player One. I saw a part of it, but I didn't see the whole thing. But it kind of has
Ready
that
Player One is just Spy Kids 3D, but worse.
Oh God, yeah, I remember Spy Kids 3D. That was
the book
something.
is so much better.
But yeah, he kind of breaks out of his role where it's. I found it's kind of funny where the guy gets thrown out of the window and like guy Ryan Reynolds picks him up. He's like, typical Tuesday, and he's like, yeah, you said it, brother. And they just kind of just go on with their day like an NPC does because they're just programmed to do that. I find that like acting that out was really funny. So I have hopes for that.
Right.
For hopes for this movie in general.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're going for because I hope this movie looks good because I love Ryan Reynolds. He does a really good job with this types of things. So
Speaking of which, irresistible.
yes,
Because I made the pun and I posted the link.
So, guys, I literally had to talk to you privately about this trailer because I was literally afraid that we were gonna go too far astray.
No.
And then I told Naka, and he actually, I believe it was directed by Jon Stewart.
I was like, yeah, Daily Show.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this is actually you actually are okay with this.
Yeah. I mean,
If I don't agree with him politically, I do agree that with
he's
him,
a good comedian.
even if I don't agree with him politically, I do agree with him in our hatred for the Boston Bruins because fuck the Bruins.
So, Irresistible is about a Democrat works with a retired Marine colonel to win the state of Wisconsin from the Republicans. Sounds basic enough, right?
It's like, but I'm not sure what's happening because why did that woman lick Steve Carell's face? And what?
Steve Carell is really good.
It's kind of like what they tried to do with that shot they did when George Bush was on the ranch. They kind of tried to do that for that guy. I think that was kind of a somewhat intentional reference. Like, get the cows to face that way, not all the black cows in the center. Get them over there or something like that.
Yeah, so
Because it was a ranch they just bought for the shoot.
so
I could see that. It's kind of like more politically direct, I guess, than the campaign. That movie, but sure, I mean, I don't know. My dad's from Wisconsin, so I guess we could see what he thinks. Maybe.
yeah. What do you have to say regarding this film trailer, Naka?
I mean, yeah, we're in an election year. It's going to be a little bit heated. And people are going to be like, they're going to be on one side of the fence or the other. But it's Jon Stewart. It's supposed to be, comedic at some point.
A lot of people are saying that they're making the assumption that this film is kind of gonna what's that phrase where something that is released, it's talked about for a while and then it's never talked about again.
What, like vaporize?
Which when
Like-
the hype just dies.
Yeah, like the hype just dies and people remember, and people like unless people research it, like they don't remember it's a thing. It was a thing, I don't know. I guess forgetful, I guess is the right word.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm worried that it might do that, but hey, it is what it is. So, well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next film, which is what
Stranger Things, Ghostbusters crossover.
I wish. We'll get some more. We'll get more into Stranger Things.
But yeah.
Well, we'll get
Back
more
in
into
town.
Stranger Things in another trailer. I'll hold you to that. Ghostbusters Afterlife. A group of kids uncover a secret car and some paranormal activity that calls them to be ghost hunters in their neighborhood. So, yeah, in case you didn't notice, this is actually directed by Ivan Reitman's son, I believe. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly, or unless the son is Ivan Reitman. Hold on to it. No, Jason Reitman. That's the son's name. He is actually directing the film. So the father of which is Ivan Reitman directed the original Ghostbusters, and now we have the son directing this Ghostbusters. So it'll be an interesting thing to say for sure. So
Ghostbusters are back in town. You need to pee. That is so crazy. If you can't tell, I have Super Ghostbusters by Varg Skeletor, aka Vine-Sized Joel, in the background because it's Ghostbusters.
So, yeah, one of the things that I really like about this trailer is that, correct me if I'm wrong, and, stop me if I'm sounding totally crazy. This is the film that should have been the first Ghostbusters film, after the sequels, correct?
Not that
Not
other one.
Ghostbusters 2016. Yeah.
I don't want to judge it too much because I haven't actually seen it, but I just know that it was kind of just like there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's maybe been what you're referring to. It's like,
dude, where's my car has converted. Wow. That's actually
phone.
I mean that's actually kind of true if you think about it, Naka. But hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ghostbusters.
This is gonna be a fun movie.
I mean,
it'd definitely be a fun movie, and this is kind of like what you're getting at, or what some people are getting at, like if the sequel should have been like, the children of Ghostbusters. This is pretty much what that was, what they should have done the first time.
Yeah, but you really like. So
I remember it's like your dad didn't tell you about this. Your dad didn't tell you about Dickless over here.
Anyway, is
we're gonna move on
that all
to,
for Ghostbusters?
Yes, it is.
Ghostbusters was a movie, 1986. Anyway, let's move on to a movie that doesn't need to be made, and it's getting worse and worse the more news comes out about it.
Mulan,
This is another disgrace.
Disguises herself as a man.
Dishonor on your camry. Dishonor on your cow.
Can I finish? Gosh, guys, come on. A young, beautiful woman disguises herself as a man to fight in her father's place when the Huns have invaded mainland China. I've already seen the original Mulan, and I saw the Lion King live-action remake, which was, shit.
God.
And it made more money than any of the other animated films.
I mean, granted, keep inflation in mind. Though,
Wasn't it nominated for Best Animated Picture this year?
Yes, it was, and I'm so glad it kind of lost, even though Toy Story 4 took it.
Lost.
It did lose.
It didn't.
It did lose.
It kind of lost. It's second place. As far as I saw a funny, that meme of the Fallout guy and says, "Excuse me, what the fuck?" It's kind of like it says, "Mulan director says we won't have music in the movie because we don't have songs when going into battle." It's a picture of Joachim from Sabaton. It says, "Excuse me, what the fuck?"
No, you mean Nani the fuck? Anyway, I have no interest in seeing Mulan. I'm just gonna make that. I have no interest in seeing it. All right, so I've kind of made a decision in my life where I've pretty much boycotted almost every single live action film after the Lion King went out. After the live action Lion King went off, I just said nope. I refuse to see it to prove that we are better as a species, so that Disney is not just there to make money, and I'm getting tired of it. So
I haven't seen any of the.
The only time that I will see Mulan is if it comes on Disney Plus, and even then I have a choice on whether or not I want to see it. So
the only live action thing I saw, I think, was there was Beauty and the Beast and then Jungle Book, and that was it.
Disney's bad remakes.
Don't get me started on Beauty and the Beast, please. We already went.
Can we talk about The Hunt, please, and continue, because I'm getting very hungry now.
Yes, we're going to talk about The Hunt. 12 strangers wake up in a clearing and don't know where they are or how they got there, but are now armed with guns looking for their primary targets.
It's Fortnite.
Number one victory royale. If
No,
Lawson is in the movie, I will shoot myself.
No, but really, what do you have to say regarding this film? It kind of looks like a interesting thriller remake of The Hunger Games meets.
It's like it's a mix of Hunger Games and I can't say Fortnite. PUBG. There we go.
Whoa there, whoa!
I can't say Fortnite. Fuck Fortnite.
Shit.
PUBG is the way to go.
So, fun fact: the film was originally scheduled for a release in 2019. However, under the title called "The Deplorables." However, following the Dayton and El Paso mass shootings in
Probably a good idea.
the decision came a day after criticism regarding the film came from our current president. So that's the reason why it was renamed. So that's actually
I see now that makes more sense. People are like, these liberals round up. I feel like this is kind of like a doubling down of what people think that Republicans sound like, and like they make that into a film to be like, yeah, Republicans are stupid. It's like, yeah, sure. I mean, but the one thing I won't argue with this movie is like, who came up with this shit? It's like white people. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's I can't oppose that. I mean, yeah, I mean, we have Florida Man. I mean, that pretty much just says it all. But I mean,
What, you mean youtube.com/GraySteelPlays?
it's
Who plays every video game as Florida Man.
Wow.
Anyway.
All right, so we're going to move on to this film, which I'm very, very excited to talk about. It's called Promising Young Woman. A young woman takes it upon herself to fake men out of clubs, pretending to be drunk to determine who are the real sexual predators. Guys,
Ooh.
it looks really good.
This is promising social commentary. And maybe
No, but really.
and maybe people will actually stop being fucking dickheads.
No, but really, what do you have to say regarding this? Because the first 30 seconds, like, I'm pretty sure you were hooked, right, Naka?
Yeah, no, this is going to be an absolutely smart movie.
I got some mixed signals from this in terms of its message. I full well I understand what you just said about what its message is supposed to be, but I'm like, it was like, what are my hobbies? What's my name? And she's like, yeah, that's too hard of a question. Like, yeah, I get.
She's being sarcastic.
I know. I get that joke, but
I think my favorite line in that trailer was when they said, "Do you know what nightmare it is for every man to get accused like that?" And then she goes, "Can you guess what every woman's worst nightmare is?" Can you guess? And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good point if you think about it.
I mean, both of them, I guess, ruin careers. Let's not lie to ourselves. I think, ironically, it may be the one against the men that is more dangerous to careers, not to their person, but to their careers.
Right.
But
But
person, I will absolutely not oppose that. But
yeah,
we'll have to see what it says because it's the trailer's telling us it has a lot to say. So
I actually do like.
Very big
I like
commentary.
I like the fact that it's playing a violinist rendition of Britney Spears' "Toxic." I mean,
yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah,
Britney Spears. I mean, I get it. You know, I mean, I understand you're probably not the biggest fans of her, but hey, you know. Anyway, we're gonna move on to our next film, which is The Personal History of David Copperfield, based
apparently
on
not the musician, magician. God,
Right. Based on the beloved novel, tells the story of a man who goes from rags to riches throughout every hardship of his life. The trailer is a little confusing because there's so much being thrown at you. It was really hard for me to deduce a coherent log line for this particular trailer. Naka, Krüz, what do you have to say?
I mean, I have like no affiliation with David Copperfield, so don't ask me.
I saw the trailer.
It looks good.
I was confused, but looks decent. I don't know what I personally think about it. I think it's Dev Patel, right? I mean, I like him as an actor. That's what I got going for it. I know nothing of the other David Copperfield, unfortunately.
So, yeah, I don't know much about it. I can only say I love Dev Patel. I'll give it that, but, you know.
Hey, me too.
But hey,
Okay, this next one, I'm getting very big Payday 2 vibes.
wait, there's a film called Payday.
Payday
No, I'm
GTA.
talking about Cutthroat City.
I
Jesus.
don't know. I don't know about GTA Dark City.
GTA Dark City. That's
The
next
movie is called Cutthroat City. It's
Oh.
literally the next one down.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Jesus.
Cutthroat City.
Do you
After the
know how to
historical
read? Sorry for blowing everybody's eardrums out. I'm sorry.
We have our next film called Cutthroat City, which is a historical hurricane which has broken. A heist currently is being held and taking place in the Ninth Ward of New Orleans. It looks interesting.
There was a
to
lot
say
of
the
looting
least.
going on during, the aftermath and during Hurricane Katrina, and it was really kind of sad.
Yeah, it was because I don't.
People were just trying to
don't
get
know what it
TVs and steal cash and everything like that. And the reason why I get vibes to the video game Payday 2 is because one of the heists, you literally go to California after a major earthquake and try to break into vans and steal safes out of those vans.
Yeah, like that.
Really.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. It's like when I saw I forget the actor's name, but the guy who was supposed to be the mob boss, I'm like, isn't this that guy from Boardwalk? Isn't that Boardwalk Empire? Isn't that supposed to be another kind of mob boss kind of style show?
Mm-hmm. But hey, I mean, it's there, so I don't have much to say, but I am excited for this next trailer, which is coming out, called The French Dispatch, French colonists tell a collection of the film issues it tackled in a 20th century French city. And guys, guess who the director of this film is?
I could tell from the style of the trailer. It's motherfucking Mr. Q.
Wait, what?
It's Wes Anderson.
Oh, Wes Anderson. Well, I thought you were gonna say it. Don't just leave me hanging like that.
I'm sorry.
No, but seriously, what do you have to say regarding this film, Naka?
No crying in my office. You're fired.
I mean, you like Wes Anderson, right?
Yes, I do. And it's going to, French Dispatch. There's a lot of stuff that went on in France during the 20th century. Let's be honest.
I mean,
So,
yeah. You got
this will be
twice. I mean,
this will be a little spicy.
Aside from being invaded twice, that's the quite a lot went on.
Yes, indeed. And I can only hope that Wes Anderson does a really good job. But Wes Anderson makes really good shit. Let's just be honest. He really does. I mean,
You right.
anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to.
Oh my god, this movie's gonna be so garbage. I'm
you
still
really
gonna go
sure it
see
will
it
be?
because I've seen literally every other fucking film in this franchise except for Hobbs and Shaw. I still need to see that, but all the mainline films I've seen, this
This one
film's
has
gonna be
John
so
Cena.
bad. Oh my god, this is gonna be awful. Fast and Furious 9, or F9 as it's called. A man confronts the sins of his past when his brother returns looking for revenge in a high-throttle race against the clock. John Cena is apparently Vin Diesel's brother in this film, and it's John Cena with a full head of hair.
and
He's
you're-
finally
you're-
become the heel that people have wanted him to be in the WWE for years, but it's in a shitty garbage movie. And
Which,
Han's
unfortunately,
back somehow. There's going to be
Which-
a fucking wild explanation for that.
which unfortunately you also have to see because you've seen all the others.
You know, they had a perfect ending with Furious 7, and then Universal just grabbed the teat and then just started sucking it off until it was dry.
What you yet, boy?
Was there anything good about Fate of the Furious?
I mean, other than like fucking the baby being named after Paul Walker's character, there you go. That was pretty much it.
But other than that, it was kind of.
It was not good.
Oh, that's not a good thing to hear. But I mean, yeah,
Gate up the runs.
But I guess the good news is that Han came back. After Tokyo Drift.
Oh god, that.
Yeah, that's they're gonna need some explaining for that. And the canon, oh my god, don't even get me started on what movies are in the are canonically in order. Because like
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift came out in what, 06, 07?
Yeah, that's not.
It's set after the seventh. It's set after what, the seventh movie, or like the sixth movie? I mean, excuse me.
Yeah, people say the Saw timeline is confusing. Yeah, it doesn't have this fuckery happening. Except, I guess you could argue Saw 3D, which is technically, I guess, Saw 5 or 6 or whatever.
Did you ever see Hobbs and Shaw or no?
I still haven't seen it.
Neither.
I said that in my little mini rant. You weren't listening because you never listened to me.
I do listen to you. Anyway.
Anyway, let's hope Top Gun Maverick is actually a much better movie. Please.
Wow, wow, damn. So we're gonna move on to Top Gun Maverick, and I looked at the trailer for this, guys. Holy shit! Like immediately after the plane like goes in between two of the jets, which
It's like, catch up, rookies.
which I must add are, not really as good. Which I must add are kind of fictional. So there is that. So, yeah. So what do you have to say regarding this trailer?
I hope it's so much better than
F9.
F9, and I really hope that it's a good sequel to the original Top Gun. I really do. I don't want this movie to bomb.
And as for you, Krüz?
Yeah, the only thing I know from the original one is the Kenny Loggins song, and then also because I've had a beer in Florida from Funky Buddha. If you want to check it out, it's called Hop Gun. That's the only that in the song are the only thing I know, and then Tom Cruise is the only thing I know about the original. But I know it's about a fighter pilot. But I imagine that this should be a good return to form for him. And I mean, yeah, Shudder, feel old. I mean, maybe it's
so the director of
return to form.
So the director of Top Gun is actually the director of Tron Legacy, which was his directorial debut, which I actually really liked. I don't know about you guys.
That's a fun movie.
Tron Legacy is a lot of fun. And then he also directed Oblivion with Tom Cruise, and he also directed Only the Brave, which actually got a really surprising rating. I'm actually, but hey, I just hope that it does well. So, anyway, that's really all I can say regarding Only the Brave. So we're gonna move on to
boring eyelash. Boo.
You mean Top Gun Maverick, not Only the Brave?
Sorry.
Your brain isn't working anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm being pulled into many different directions. He directed Only the Brave and Top Gun Maverick, so I hope Top Gun Maverick is going to be good. But we're going to move on to our next film, which is No Time to Die.
This is No Time to Die.
A famous spy interrupted off from vacation time must now stop a mysterious villain with a new technology that threatens the world.
Yay! It's Jimmy Broadbent.
Mm-hmm.
And with another whiny pop song for its theme.
You guys really don't like Burly Eyelash, do you?
Boring eyelash. Yeah, I mean, Adele's was great. Skyfall was great.
Skyfall's a great opening theme.
I think Spectre. Okay, and then this is just like I'm like, as soon as I hear Burly Eyelash come on, I'm like, nope, gone.
Spectre wasn't as good as Skyfall, I heard.
I know. Yeah, I agree.
But what do you? But hey, you guys like James Bond, right?
Yes, I do like Jimbo Broadbent.
Jimbo Broadbent. No, but
I'm
really,
sorry. I keep referencing legendary YouTube sim racer and commentator for the Gran Turismo Sport World Finals, Jimmy Broadbent.
Can you believe
the man
that
who bought a car instead of moving out of his mom's shed?
Damn. So, can you believe that? Can you believe that I've only seen one James Bond film? I haven't seen others.
Jesus, educate yourself, God.
But
yeah, I didn't even see GoldenEye, the one that everyone was ranting and raving about.
I've seen that one. I've seen Dr. No, the first one, and I've seen. I remember seeing. I might have seen GoldenEye.
I've seen GoldenEye, Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale,
I heard Casino
Skyfall.
Royale was really good.
Yeah, I think I've seen of the old ones. I've seen Doctor No and Thunderball.
Oh wow. So
That's what.
Anyway, let's hope this movie turns out better than Spectre. I'm sorry. I know you get angry at me, but like, there's dinner in my house now, and I'm very hungry.
we're five trailers left. Okay, guys, we're almost done. All right, we're gonna move on with Resistance. An aspiring Jewish actor joins the French Resistance to save thousands of orphan children from Nazis.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is the 75th. It's been 75 years since the emancipation of Auschwitz.
Well,
Auschwitz, but
Auschwitz.
Emancipation, quote unquote. I mean, those who didn't get sent to the gulags. But yeah, the last movie I saw that was related to this was called Mr. Batignolles. And it was, again, a similar situation. He was in Vichy, France. It was more of it was genuine movie, but there were some more comedic moments that were like human comedic moments, like can't go into detail.
I don't know. I'm a bit of a history buff. I'll probably go see this.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the appeal of it, how it looks. So yeah, I'll probably go and see this.
but hey, it's there. You know what? Resistance. I only hope it does well. Really. I guess my only one gripe with it is that it has Jesse Eisenberg doing a German accent, which
Fuck
really
Jesse Eisenberg, man.
French. Fuck Jesse Eisenberg, man.
which
Goddamn Winklevoss twins rowing the boat.
Zuckerberg.
which kind of just
Referencing Naka, but yeah, Jesse trying to do a French accent. I mean,
German.
seems to be doing it well. He's living in France, though. He's a Frenchman,
But hey,
I believe.
Anyway,
but hey, we're gonna go ahead and
let's move on to
our
Identical
next-
Houses, aka American Houses in the year 2020. The movie.
Techie.
This is a movie that I really, really want to see, called Vivarium. A young couple looks for the perfect home, find themselves trapped in a mysterious labyrinth-like neighborhood of identical houses. This looks great. I really want to go see it. I think I was more intrigued by the fact that, we're actually talking about a horror film where they're not exactly, dying or anything in the labyrinth because they have food. They are just trapped in there and you have no idea what's going on. So what do you have to say regarding this film? Because this film looks great. I think the trailer rather. I think the only gripe that I have with the trailer is that it actually showed a rating from Rotten Tomatoes when I much rather just have seen the star
That
reviews.
was a lot of the
instead.
YouTube comments said that, and
Yeah.
I think it was like it showed a little too much.
Hmm.
It showed a little too much of the movie, and a little too much of the comic relief too. Especially at the very end, where they like flip off the kid. It's like, you little freak. It's like, come on, man. If it's a horror comedy, don't give that away.
Yeah. But I mean, getting lost in the suburbs, I mean, that's already a goddamn nightmare. Especially if you don't have GPS, you're fucked. You have no way to know where you're going.
I think the fucked up thing is that they might have GPS and it just keeps putting them in circles.
So yeah, really.
Oh, so you mean that part in the end of Toy Story 4? Okay, let's move on.
No, but really, I really want to see this trailer. I really want to see this movie because it looks amazing. But I guess we can only move on. I understand you're on a time crunch, Naka. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but let's take our
Audience.
time, okay?
Vampire. They sleep at dawn.
I am not excited for this movie at all.
What?
Morbius. A man tries to cure himself from a rare blood disease, but he inadvertently infects himself with a form of vampirism instead, becoming an anti-hero.
See, this
So-
reminds me of part of what's going on in the NBC hit drama Manifest that I'm not going to spoil, so that already has me interested.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it looked pretty cool. As do the next two, I'll say.
Yeah, so, yeah, so what do you have to say regarding this trailer, Naka?
I literally just said it. You don't listen to me.
Krüz.
It does look quite cool from what I've seen. I don't know much about the character, but
now I'd like to know more based on
All right.
this happening.
So we're gonna move on to our next trailer, which is the next Marvel
Finally, Black
installment.
Widow has her own goddamn movie.
It finally took a while, and I believe this is the beginning of Phase 4. I believe
It's either
So,
Phase 4 or
Phase-
Phase 5 anyway.
I believe it's either Phase 4 or Phase 5. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Black Widow, a skilled woman assassin, finds herself forced to confront a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past.
I've already
So,
seen 5 trailers. I'm excited for it.
I mean, here's the thing. Interest to note, it actually stars David Harbour, and
As
he's in
Soviet
Russia.
man.
Oh yeah, he does.
And then in Stranger Things, he's also in Russia, so that actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
Some Kamchatka. Funny thing, I looked up of the map of gulags. There are apparently no gulags in the peninsula where he was imprisoned, which is interesting. Just gonna say.
Yeah, so, I mean, and yeah, I am surprised by it. The only thing that I can really hope for is that it actually does, a good job.
I hope they don't
of a
botch
mo-
it like Captain Marvel.
I don't
Captain
think
Marvel
it
was so
not-
disappointing. It was
I don't
so
think-
disappointing.
I don't think it was actually. It was very much meh. I guess to me,
Yeah.
not disappointing, but just meh.
Yeah, it just, I mean, but hey, with the
Or more
talk
par
of,
for the course.
yes, and with talk with Black Widow and Captain Marvel, it only makes sense to talk about DC's next film in the limelight, which has no excuses to be bad at all. Wonder Woman 1984.
Wonder Woman World War II. I mean 1984.
A superhero who hasn't aged a day is now stuck in the confines of modern day mid-80s, facing a new threat that appears on the rise.
So one question: why do you go from World War One to the height of the Cold War?
Second question, not to spoil anything. How is her love interest living in the 80s?
Time fuckery.
I guess, but anyway,
Amazonian witchcraft.
I remember Krüz's exact words when he said, please let Wonder Woman be good. This looks so freaking good. And then he said, Marvel Studios has kicked your ass 6 ways from Sunday. You have one shot at this. And sure enough, Wonder Woman was the one that literally said, yes, we like that.
There was a good meme I saw that was someone was saying Wonder Woman sends the wrong message to our children, and then the tweet reply was that women can be strong, that women can actually be strong roles or main roles, and then the reply was from the original person was no, that DC makes good movies.
No, but really, Naka, what do you have to say about this movie?
I mean, it's Wonder Woman. What else do you have to say?
Well, I meant in terms of do you really want? Do
Well,
you
yeah,
really think it's going to
it's
be?
in the height of the 8? It's it's 84, so technically that's also an election year, where we were almost ready for the Third World War. Reagan and Bush 84. There's a lot of 1984 jokes I can make. So
Right.
only for the fact of the amount of 1984 jokes and references I can make, it's already going to be a good movie.
1984.
But anyway, guys, that is it. That's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We actually got that done in less than 2 hours. No, almost less than 3 hours.
Yes.
Almost.
About.
Yeah. So a boot. Anyway. So anyway, guys. Anyway, rate, comment, subscribe. I guess.
Dude,
Go in the comment section. Do what you guys do. I mean, if you can.
and the comments will be on the VOD, so you might have to save them for when that happens. But I don't know if chat replay is up, but go ahead.
If you can. Also, if you can, try and go to I guess try and donate if you can to Subwuffer Entertainment. Any donation works. It helps. But really, that's all I have to say regarding it. So yeah, that's it. That's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you have a good one, and we will see you next week, I believe.
Yes, next week. Anyway,
All right.
we gotta go.
Anyway, we gotta go, guys. Stay awesome and stay awesome. My name is Scarfy,
I'm Naka.
And I'm Krüz.
and we hope that you all have a blessed evening. Stay awesome, stay awesome. Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Bye.